certain extreme situations, the law is inadequate. In order to shame its inadequacy, it is necessary to act outside the law, to pursue natural justice. This is not vengeance. Revenge is not a valid motive, it's an emotional response. No, not vengeance. Punishment.
Tonight we have a chance to say, yeah, you're right. We're too extreme, we're too wild, we're too out of control, we're too full of our own shit. Or we have a chance to say, hey, fuck you, you're wrong. Fuck you, we're right. Because you have all made it to the dance. Because believe me, this is the dance. Start the show.
Oh, good evening, boys and girls. You liked this shirt so much this morning that I left it on for our last evening show of the week. There you go. You loved it. You liked it. There were so many comments on it this morning that I had to bring it back. Welcome to the show. I have back in the 50s they would call it the 60s they would call it a hot tooth. I got a hot tooth up here. I got one. I don't know if I'm brushing too hard. I've been water picking on too high of a pressure, or I'm going to have to go have some work done or something. But I got a bit of a hot tooth this evening. I don't like it. Welcome to the program, DB over on Rumble. Oh, yes, I do know. And I have to say, it is very funny to me. It shows how much I live in those people's heads. And, it does show a new level of desperation, and I love it. I love that my little stories got to them so much that they had to go that route. But my audience does not tune in to hear the drama, no matter how giddy I am about it. I have to say no, even though I do think it's hilarious that those two creeps have such... I mean, it is a psychosis and an obsession with Aaron bordering on love. It is a love kind of a relationship. But I have to say, going to a mentally deficient man because you're upset that I won a few games of basketball, I gotta say, while I was in jail, they got so mad that I played basketball in jail that they had to try to talk to one of my opponents. Which is awesome because I love the guy and I think he's going to be an absolute hoot. But I do have to say, it does show a very unhealthy obsession. It's also what happens when you don't branch out outside your streaming community, because any normal person would warn you against doing that because it looks mildly psychotic. But I hope they had fun. I mean, he's a funny guy. They probably enjoyed themselves. Hulkamasha Baby with $1 says, you look like a Down syndrome Marine reject in that shirt. Why a Marine reject? Can't I, wouldn't it be insulting enough if you just called me a Down syndrome Marine? Couldn't I just, if you said, Aaron, you look like a Down syndrome Marine in that shirt, why do I have to be a Down syndrome Marine reject? Why does it have to go the extra mile? And why can't you make that 100 instead of $1? I think for each insult, you should add a 0. If you have one insult in the Rumble rant, $1 is fine. 2 insults, make it 10. It salves it a little more. 3 insults, Down syndrome Marine reject, that should be 100. And besides, if you have Down syndrome, aren't you getting rejected from the Marines anyway? Why would the Marines even allow someone with Down syndrome to go through the training? That would be really shitty of them. So you know what? I reject the premise of your entire comparison. How's that? That's what, in the business, that's what we call empowerment. Benchtop Model says, every time I go to my dentist, I pay for a new car. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? Every time you go. It's kind of like going to the dentist and getting your car fixed is the same experience. You go in thinking it's one thing. You're prepared for it. A couple more zeros on the bill later and, an extra hour or two of work. You're like, oh, fuck, I really was thinking best case scenario on that, wasn't I? Oh, it looks like Brack really liked that Down syndrome Marine crack. So I was wrong. It wasn't too mean. My bad. No Pen 15 Fathead with $2 says 4 eyes. See, 4 eyes is one insult. One insult, no zeros. Your first insult is free of zeros. 2 insults, let's put a 0 behind that number. 3 insults, come on. Pay the piper. What are we doing here? Sam Show says, look up McNamara's morons, Aaron. You'll laugh. Sam Show says, we did use retards in Vietnam. What? No. Robert McNamara used retard. Hold on. McNamara's. That's the first thing that comes up. Oh, no. This is a real thing. Loaded Wrench with $2 says, looks like Shamu sticking her head out of the water. Now, that's a little bit longer insult, but it's still just one. So, yeah, he doesn't need to put a 0 behind that one. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, I guess, since we're on the topic and the contributions are already coming in tonight. Thank you, guys. 185 is the number for tonight. And once we hit that 185, perfect week of evening shows. Thank you guys very much. No rule against hitting it super early. I appreciate it. All right. Now, look, I don't have to read your insults when they're not super chat. I'm not going to read your insults for free. Are you fucking insane? Throw a couple bucks behind your shitty behavior. I'd love to read it. That's the difference. I read it for free. It's just depressing and embarrassing. I read it for money. It's an exchange of goods and services. So don't be a cheapskate. All right, McNamara's morons. This sounds horrifying. Sam Show, I'm never going to forgive you for introducing us to McNamara's morons. Okay.
It is the morning of the 30th of January, 1968. The Communist Viet Cong launched a sudden and unprecedented offensive on Saigon, the capital of South Vietnam. As a US soldier, you are desperately defending vital positions within the South Vietnamese capital, taking cover from the rain of fire coming from all directions. Meanwhile, your comrade stands there returning fire, with no cover to speak of. Said comrade gets shot and immediately drops dead. With the storm having settled, you ask yourself, how did he even get in the army? Was he one of McNamara's morons? This is the historiographer, and today, the history behind Project 100,000, otherwise known as McNamara's Moron Corps.
Please tell me that McNamara's morons just meant that these were guys who maybe had their draft status changed and, they were like, 97 IQ, but they were, they could pick up a gun, they could fight. Please don't tell me this is going to be people with Down syndrome fighting the Vietnam War, because as if we didn't have more reason to indict these motherfuckers for war crimes.
A project.
How is, okay, let me, okay, this is going to be tough. You know how they say the winners write history? How is us doing this worse than, how is this better than a lot of the shit Hitler did? Like, is Hitler not the victim? Okay, that's going to sound fucked. I'm not saying Hitler's a victim, but is Hitler the victim of embellishing because we won and he lost? Like, how much dirty, awful, evil shit did we do that if he won the war, the stories he would have told about us? For example, like this Vietnam War thing, we're using retards in the military. That If we fought an enemy and we beat that enemy and we told that story in schools, we'd go, oh my God, those people are pure blood evil.
Enlisted hundreds of thousands of mentally challenged individuals at the behest of the U.S. Defense Secretary Robert McNamara will be explored.
By the way, that lying son of a bitch McNamara and General Westmoreland were lying to the press and to the American public during that whole war. They were saying things like, we're killing them faster than they can reproduce. You wouldn't believe the body count. We're killing those guys.
Ever since the partition of Vietnam into North and South following the Geneva Conference of 1954, the US Army kept increasing its involvement in the armed conflict between the pro-Western South Vietnamese government and the Viet Cong, a southern communist guerrilla army under North Vietnamese control. These tensions would culminate with the so-called Gulf of Tonkin incident, where on the 2nd of August 1964, USS Maddox was allegedly fired upon by North Vietnamese torpedoes.
I've got news for you. Unlike the USS Liberty, that never happened.
This gave incumbent President Lyndon B. Johnson a reason to intervene, which he did by the 2nd of March 1965 via Operation Rolling Thunder, a devastating aerial campaign in both Vietnam and Laos to bomb the Ho Chi Minh supply route. Yet, the aerial effort quickly proved to be insufficient support for the crumbling South Vietnamese army, and US boots were badly needed on the ground, which is why on the 8th of March 1965, the first US ground troops arrived in Vietnam.
Think about that. We couldn't fucking beat Vietnam. That's embarrassing. I mean, guerrilla war or not, it's just like if you're going to win a guerrilla war, you kind of have to be willing to just massacre the shit out of people, and we just weren't willing to do that. Like, you got to burn down the fucking jungle. Like Michael Caine in Dark Knight. We burned the forest down, sir. Like, you got to do that move.
3,500 Marines.
Don't beat people with Down
this figure
syndrome.
ballooned to nearly 385,000 troops. However, there was a problem for the U.S. Defense Department.
That's where I feel bad for our soldiers, you know, because they came back and they got called baby killers and shit. But it's like when people are dressing up like villagers and then ambushing your platoon, there's going to be soldiers who are just going to not take any chances and they're just going to wipe out entire villages. It's really shitty. It's really awful. But they were put in that position by our government and they wanted to get home. They didn't want to die. So yeah, a lot of them did really awful shit by normal people standards, but they were put in that position by the United States government.
Or rather, a severe problem in the form of a significant lack in manpower for this sudden massive demand of military personnel.
Don't be Down
While the highly
syndrome people.
unpopular draft was still in place and was used to fill in army ranks, it was not enough. Indeed, American able-bodied males used all forms of tricks to evade the draft by intentionally failing military qualifications.
Nice.
This put Robert McNamara and President Johnson in a tough position.
You know, if your own people, like we didn't have that problem in World War II, we probably didn't even have that problem in Korea. If your own people are trying to, like, if they're trying to fake failing the draft tests, maybe that should tell you something about the popularity of your war effort. And as George Carlin said, even in a fake democracy, people ought to get what they want once in a while.
Options was to either draft middle-class college young men or draft the National Guard, where either decision would certainly result in political suicide. As such, a desperate McNamara came up with the idea of lowering the Army's mental requirements by recruiting mentally deficient and often poor men who had failed the mental aptitude entry tests.
So Leo DiCaprio and Gilbert Grape. That's who that's how Forrest Gump got. So that part in Forrest Gump where he gets into the military and you're like, how the fuck did that happen? Forrest was one of McNamara's morons.
In a program known as Project 100,000, with the aim of drafting 100,000 men, a project cleverly sold to the public as a way for these socially disadvantaged men to climb the social ladder through the US military.
You pitched this to the American people publicly? This wasn't a top secret thing? You went to the American people and said, hey, guess what? We're going to draft people with Down syndrome, but hey, they'll get access to the military and they'll be able to climb the social ladder. They can't tie their fucking shoes. And you're going to be putting them out there with guerrilla warriors?
As one can guess, this idea born out of desperation had disastrous consequences.
No
In
shit.
total, over 350,000 mentally challenged soldiers were drafted in Project 100,000. Here is a look at the statistics concerning their military performance according to Gregory Hamilton's book, McNamara's Folly. The New Standards Men, or NSM for short, otherwise pejoratively known as McNamara's Morons, were 3 times as likely to die in combat compared to normal soldiers.
No shit, because they thought the bullets were gumdrops.
The NSM had more than twice the court-martial rate of non-NSM soldiers. The average NSM IQ was less than 75.
Hold on, I gotta do something. What's the average IQ of someone with Down syndrome? Down syndrome IQ. 20 to 70. So a high-functioning Down syndrome person qualified for the military under McNamara's. How was this guy not arrested and thrown in prison? Dude, I get really sad if I see someone with Down syndrome like get hit in the arm with a baseball. Like that, dude, that's Sean and Marley. Well, Marley. Like, that's like they drafted Marley into the military. I'd be angry. I'd burn a fucking barracks down if you're doing shit like that. Oh, my God. Well, thank you, Sam Show, for letting us know about that. I know a lot about United States history. I was not familiar with McNamara's Morons. Now I'm horrified. Thank you. No Pen 15 Fathead with $2 says, you sit down to pee. Have I not taught you guys the meaning of the phrase allegedly? Joey Caravello with $2 says, when I was in Vietnam, we caked a whole village in mashed potatoes. Oh, sorry about that. I undid your mission by eating them. I'm really, really sorry. 180 away from tonight. Thank you guys very much for your contributions. Yep, DB writes, Sean and Marley, I have an important mission for you boys. Fauci's Pangolin says, we could have won Vietnam if we had Velcro combat boots. Got it, Aaron. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying we should have never drafted Down syndrome people to fight in the Vietnam War. That was more the point I was getting at. 09 Canyon says, mine too, but he was a social worker, didn't fight, interviewed soldiers and drill sergeants. I think we actually have one of those. We actually have old footage, now that I'm in a YouTube loop, of one of McNamara's Morons. Here we go. I think this is the right thing. This is one of McNamara's Morons. What do you call it? Detaining one of the Viet Cong. Let's jump into this here. Here we go. Here's our guy.
Me. Who wants to get tased?
Excuse me?
See, like, you don't just walk up to the enemy and say that. That gives them time to react.
They just give us tasers. Let's go tasty crazy.
Oh, no, thank you.
Come on, let me taste your butt.
See? That's
No, you can't tase my butt.
How about your ball sack?
Well, that's worse.
Not for me.
Look, I don't want you to tase any part of my body.
Can I tase her?
No, go away.
See, this is now, not only are we drafting people with Down syndrome and putting them in combat, but now we're encouraging them to commit war crimes.
It's free.
What the hell is wrong with you?
I'm retarded. What's wrong with you?
Nothing?
Then why does your face look like that?
See, now we're talking shit to the Viet Cong. So that was McNamara's Morons. That was his program. Not a good idea, to say the least. Hulkamasha Baby with $1 says, okay, they always say we lost in Vietnam, but we made them sign a peace treaty that ended the war. They went back on it. Is that not a win? Well, yeah, I guess we reached a ceasefire. We reached an armistice. But I think every documentary I've watched on Vietnam says that we knew as soon as we signed that ceasefire that when we left, they were going to break it. That we were, it wasn't exactly a surprise when the North Vietnamese took over. The ceasefire to me always, as I heard about it, was always kind of something so the United States could save face because Nixon promised the American people he'd get us out. And so in 73, they signed that deal. But then, by 74, you had Watergate and all that. Nixon was fucked anyway. $5 from I Am Walter says, since you like history, have you watched The Fat Electrician? No, I have not watched The Fat Electrician. Maybe it's something we should be checking out. Thank you very much, I Am Walter. Gaza with $5. Oh, really? Did he fall under our morning show audience numbers? That's very sad. Due to current situations and me not wanting to jeopardize things that are going well, send me an email, Gaza. We'll talk privately. How's that? Aaron Imholt Radio at gmail.com. Thank you for the $5, buddy. Okay, so here's where we're at for tonight. 175 left for the week. That's it. 80 memberships away from 400. Let's get that down there a little bit. I think next week or 2 weeks from now is like a free week because that's the week I was in jail and we had all our memberships expire. No new ones got. So I think if we get to 400 this week, back to 500 next week is going to be easy peasy. So gifting those Rumble. Oh, also the YouTube memberships are going up, which is awesome. Check out those clips, by the way. The clips are bombing this week. I did not get in any algorithms. I got a couple shorts that are in the thousands, but I mean, they're shorts, Dr. Silverwolf with $2 says, well, I did it again, boss. Strike another work truck. Wait, you wrecked a work truck? You wrecked a work truck. God damn it, you guys. Keep your shit together. All right, 170. Thank you very much, Gaza. I appreciate that. I thank you for the $2, buddy. But I'm going to tell you, you're highly suspect to me. Send me an email, and I probably won't respond. But thank you very, very much for your generosity. I do appreciate it. $170 away from tonight. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, and Rumble Rants. Thank you. Oh, so much. Hey, we've been spending a lot of time since last night talking about Mamdani, talking about Omar Feta here in Minneapolis. And while Omar Feta didn't win and a white guy did win an election last night, it's just that the white guy was Jacob Frey, who's actually a Jewish guy. So, I guess doing all those Somali ads really paid off for the guy, huh? You suck enough asshole, you might get the polished turd, and that's what he got. Well, at any rate, we totally missed the fact that St. Paul elected an illegal immigrant mayor. How about that, huh? How about you guys sitting here bitching about Mamdani, complaining about the communists that New York City elected? Dude, fuck that. St. Paul went way more progressive than New York City. St. Paul elected a legit illegal immigrant, dude. Have you not seen this yet? Her name is like Phao Tao or something like that. State Representative Kaholi Vang Her won a shocking upset over incumbent Mayor Melvin Carter. I didn't even think Melvin Carter was in trouble. Melvin Carter is like the Goldie Wilson of St. Paul. But she won. She's the mayor in St. Paul, despite, by her own admission, being an illegal alien. This is state representative Kaoli Vang Her talking about her immigration status.
Because his mother had died, my father, as the one processing the paperwork, put my grandmother down as his mother. And so I am illegal in this country. My parents are illegal here in this country.
And you know what St. Paul said? Fuck it. You can run the show. Yeah. So I guess not even a undocumented, she is documented, but improperly documented immigrant is now the mayor of the capital city of the state of Minnesota. I mean, I feel like we broke new ground here in this state. While you guys were electing some Muslim commie, we went full blown all the way fuck Trump over in St. Paul. Dr. Silverwolf with $2 says, semi hit me. Oh, you got hit by a semi. Well, I'm glad you're okay, Silverwolf. Jesus. Regaza with $2 says, you think I'm a rat? Well, look, I'm happy to know that I'm now kicking the shit out of all these guys. It's great, and thank you, Regaza. I'm just not involving myself in that world. That's kind of the awesome part of being me, and I know it's driving the anti-steel toe crowd crazy. I can do this, make enough money, draw enough audience to keep going. I know they can't, and that makes them jealous and upset, but so I'm not saying you're a rat. I just don't know if I need your services. I mean, if you want to send me something, you know, Steel Toe's always looking for help, and we got a couple extra bucks rolling around. But you send us your bona fides, and we'll see what we can do. $1 from Veldrain says, air pain, boom. That was the last we ever heard of Jimmy. $2 from Gray Duckling says, I want her to stay yelling that Pacific tribe rant. Oh, the Maori, you want her to do the haka? That's racist because she's not Maori. That's not. No, DB, she would not say for $20 me give you fucky sucky. That's not something she would say. I would say that's very racist what you're saying. I think that would be remarkably hateful, actually. Regaza with $2 says, I'm not anti-steel toe. You just need more content. Need more content? Jesus fucking Christ. I've got like 7 links every show that we don't get to. Need more content. By the time I get to Mediaite every day, I'm like, Jesus Christ, I think I've got enough. But thank you very much, Regaza. I appreciate it. Again, you get to me, buddy. I'd love to hear from you. Even if it's just to hear stories about the people who said they were going to take down Steel Toe, can't even get Steel Toe numbers anymore. I like that. Well, they couldn't get Steel Toe numbers before, so it makes sense they can't get Steel Toe numbers after. So speaking of Mayor Frey, I should stop the bragging. It's unbecoming of a gentleman. 170 away from tonight. Keep going, guys. Appreciate it. 170 away from tonight. 80 memberships on Rumble, away from 400. Let's do the Jacob Frey stuff. So he did officially get named the winner of the Minneapolis mayoral election today. Regaza with $2 says, I told you, people want to see you play GTA 5. I hate to make this like Pawn Stars, buddy. Best I can do is Medieval 2 Total War. Maybe a little Madden. Some WWE 2K25? I don't know. Thank you, though, buddy. I appreciate that. Mayor Jacob Frey spoke on Wednesday after winning a 3rd term in office. Here we go. This is Jacob Frey going up to the podium yesterday. Smoked that Muslim fucker. How do you like that shit, bitch? I was just making up that Somali stuff. No, I'm just... He just goes in there and goes absolutely ham on the Somali community. He's like, and now Cedar Riverside is going to shut down that call to prayer bullshit because there's a new sheriff in town. New boss, same as the old boss, bitches. Allahu Akbar, he's nuts. I would actually respect him. That would be pretty cool. I'm glad we could fuck over that Muslim bastard from the beginning to the end. These people don't belong in our state. And for having the audacity to challenge me, I'm deporting each and every one of them. Jacob Frey comes out with Tom Homan, and he's just like, we're kicking him out.
I am humbled by the trust and support that we have received from the people of the city of Minneapolis.
I mean,
Minneapolis is a great city.
Opinion. That's, by the way, I just want to let you guys know that is an opinion. We could not find that backed up by any kind of statistics, but that is what Jacob Frey believes. I mean, he kind of has to. He's running the show.
That is on the rise. And from right now till my final seconds in office, I will work tirelessly
to continue to fuck over any Somali who tries to challenge my throne. I thought that dirty little fucker would get the message when we rigged the endorsement vote, but he wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Do everything possible to make sure that Minneapolis is a place where everyone, regardless of your background or where you grew up, can live a brilliant life in an affordable home in a safe neighborhood.
You're going to kick out BlackRock?
I want to thank all of my fellow candidates for
Your fellow Jews are going to be mad at you if you do that.
stepping forward in this election. Stepping up to put your name on the ballot is in itself an act of courage.
It's kind of a dickhead thing to say when you're the guy who beat them all. Hey, I just want to say, you guys, hey, just getting on the ballot is fucking brave, especially against a heavyweight like me. I actually think George Floyd died of a drug overdose. There, I said it. I'm not running again.
All of them love Minneapolis. And the record turnout that we saw shows our shared commitment to work together in unity for the city we love and the city where we are proud to call home.
Aw, all right, that's about enough out of him. Blah, 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 raise your taxes. Blah, 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 raise the minimum wage. Blah, 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 inflation. Blah, 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 bad economy. Call to prayer. That would be awesome if the Muslims were just really bitter about Omar Fetta losing, so they just blasted a really loud call to prayer right during his speech. Regazo with $2 says, people want to see you play games. It will be huge. You got it, buddy. Anything for you. Joey Caravello with $2 says, Aaron, would you like it if they let you fuck women in Red Dead 2? There's something about fucking people in video games that always... it seems weird to me. Like you're just, oh man, I fucked that girl so hard in Red Dead 2. It's like, first of all, it was the Old West. Their pussies stank. And number two, fucking somebody in a video game and like being proud of it. Just kind of weird. That's all. Just kind of weird. Real Jacks 2 says, did anyone see this big hook nose? I mean, could anybody miss it? I ask you. Thank you guys very much. Hit like, hit subscribe, and hit follow tonight. Let's have ourselves a nice little, let's have ourselves some movement. Oh, look at that. 231 already. Oh, no, it just went down to 230. We're at 230 here on the toe. Keep hitting like, keep hitting share, keep hitting subscribe. We'll head to 300 by the end of the night. Regaza's still on it, still throwing money our way with $5. Says we planned on allowing that, but Strauss-Selnick made us cut it. I don't know who Strauss. I feel like everything Regaza tells me is just some kind of work. But he's being funny, so it's fine with me. Regaza says, RDR2, we had it where you would hook up with prostitutes. Darn. I love that. So in Red Dead Redemption 2, they took out the part where you could have sex with the women, but left in the part where you could murder them. Go figure. All right, guys, come on. I think it would be wildly inappropriate if we allowed Arthur Morgan to defile these young ladies. Feed the women's suffrage lady to a gator, you say? Oh, yeah, let's do that for sure. Veldrain with $1 says numerous far-left streamers watch Asmongold in hopes of chipping away at his popularity. Aaron, you are like Asmongold, except you shower more, allegedly. I do kind of have that Asmongold vibe where a lot of people just, I'm in their head rent-free all day, and I don't really give them a second thought. And that seems to make them more upset. And I make them do really crazy obsessive stuff. I guess we do have that in common. 165 away from tonight. Keep it moving. We're knocking it down nice and easy. You know, this morning, we knocked down, I just read a very funny but very mean comment from Papa Shab. I would rather not repeat it. We knocked out this morning with no contribution over $25. I love that. If you guys want to do that, I think you guys had the same thing going on last night. I think you knocked it out with nothing over 25. So, hey, keep that going tonight. Hammer it out. Hammer it out. Let's go and talk about, the Gold's Gym lady. That's right. We got a couple today. We got Brett Cooper defending Nick Fuentes. It seems like all these people who leave the Daily Wire They really forget all the Israel supporting they did while they worked for Ben Shapiro, you know? But boy, I tell you, that Matt Walsh, I saw a clip of him with Megyn Kelly today. He's still being a good little goy boy, a good little soy goy boy for old Ben Shapiro. He's still sucking the boss's asshole. He'll get a Christmas bonus. Well, that is if Ben Shapiro acknowledges Christmas. I'm not really sure. He's pretty orthodox. But Candace Owens leaves the Daily Wire. She gets based on Israel. Brett Cooper leaves the Daily Wire. She gets based on Israel. It's almost like if you work there, you've got to keep your mouth shut on certain issues or face the wrath of the boss. Such a great free speech network they're running over there, Ben Shapiro and company. But before we get to any of that, do you remember that story we did on that Gold's Gym where they were allowing a trans person, this trans person, to go in the women's locker room and the women's bathroom, and he had the cock out. It made one woman remarkably uncomfortable to the point where she complained to management, and then management kicked her out for complaining. So she went out in the lobby and just started yelling, there's somebody in the women's room with a giant dick out. And she just went screaming the whole thing, confronted the person. Well, because this person has absolutely no shame, I'm talking about the person who went in with their dick out in the women's locker room, and because apparently the trans community needs so much attention it cannot be satiated, they went on TMZ to actually talk about this and talk about how they were in the right and this woman was in the wrong. I mean, it's unfair. Like, have a little bit of sensitivity. I think the biggest thing about the trans bathroom issue and the trans athlete issue is that they all seem to have this arrogance and this I don't give a fuck attitude where, like, biological women aren't just making this shit up to bully them. They really are uncomfortable about you changing with them. They feel they're at a physical disadvantage when you compete with them in sports. And your attitude seems to be, fuck them, I got mine. And if you dare say anything critical of me, I'll just call you a bigot and have you removed. It's not just that you shouldn't be in those bathrooms, because I believe you shouldn't. It's not just that you shouldn't be on the basketball court or the softball field or whatever the case may be, or in the swimming pool. It's not just that. It's your attitude about it, too, that makes, in most cases, you wildly unlikable. So let's see if this Gold's Gym member who goes by the name Alexis can maybe break that cycle. This is Harvey Levin and his black friend. I'm going to learn this guy's name.
Well, joining us now is one of the people that Tish says she confronted in the locker room. Her name is Alexis Black, and she's joining us now. Alexis.
I mean, come the fuck on. See, look at that, smiling. Hi. By the way, you don't come off as a chick. You come off as a gay dude. Just be a gay dude. But like the arrogance of like, yeah, I made a bunch of women uncomfortable and I got them kicked out of the gym where they like to go and work out, and working out keeps a lot of people from getting depressed and shit like that. I should know about mental illness. I'm a trans person. Hi, I'm just getting attention. Isn't this wonderful? No remorse, no feeling bad. This is what gets me on shit like this all the time.
Welcome to Team Z Live.
Hi.
Hey, Alexis. So we spoke with Tish, and she said when she came face to face with you, it was obvious to her you were a man. So, I don't want to get terribly graphic here, but can you kind of explain, how you appeared? Do you believe that she was reading something in that you didn't appear to be male?
Boy, Harvey really is trying to ask, was your dick out, without having to say, was your dick out? Because that's what he's getting at. Because Tish, the woman who complained, said this person just had their cock out in the women's room.
Oh, she perceived you to be such.
Well, first, I told the people that...
You should probably speak from your nose. You're coming from the diaphragm and it's pushing up through your Adam's apple, so it's making you sound rather dudeish, if I may.
Raised me that this is the way that I was when I was 8 years old, and really I stuffed it down pretty deep, and I began.
Ooh, try that again. Could you? Nobody ever tells them that. They're like, hey, you know how you did that? And like when you guys did that, the rest of us, like 99% of the population, we felt way better and way less like fucking bothered and annoyed. Give that a shot. Well, but that depressed me so much. Yeah, we got a shitload of pills now. You're going to be fine.
Using hormones this year in February, and I actually relinquished that information to her about, name change, and it says female on my ID, and
that's because you'll bully the gym and try to get it shut down if they don't do that. Stop acting like this is totally normal and we've all agreed it's okay. You guys have bullied your way into these places. And then you claim to be the victims all the time. So you started taking hormones in February. So this guy's been taking hormones for less than a year. This is cosplaying at best.
Hormones, and I'm registered as a female with the gym. So.
And were you at that moment, because she told us about a couple of different encounters, were you fully clothed at that moment?
They're trying really hard to ask about that dick without being called transphobic.
Well, she has become aggressive with me on 4 different occasions, actually at different locations in Los Angeles at Gold's Gym. But,
yep, that's a yes. Your dick was out. Okay.
Fully clothed. I believe I was enrobed in a towel on one occasion, and this last time I was clothed the entire time.
This is gross.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, I apologize if this is too graphic, but I just think it's important.
Was your cock out? The world wants to know about your dick, ma'am.
Have you?
Let's speak truth, baby.
Okay. Have you fully transitioned?
Be clearer when you say that.
Oh, here we go. Here's the part where we play dumb and the rest of us are all being unfair. Did you cut off your dick?
Your genitalia.
That's a no.
That is a process that requires a quite lengthy work. Like,
get me a tourniquet and some garden shears. I'll prove this motherfucker wrong right now. Wait, no, that would require me to cut my... Okay, maybe not right now, but... God damn it, Mengele would know how to handle this.
For instance, I sat in a chair and had hair follicles removed from my face for 2 hours yesterday in a process called electrolysis.
Yeah, gay guys get electrolysis done, all right? Not that I would know or have ever put my head on their bare chest before and went, wow, that is great. Maybe I should get that done. Not that I would know that electrolysis. The only reason I know dudes get electrolysis done is because Doug Sir Swish Reamer got it done in the movie Basketball.
In order to have...
I was at my electrolysis appointment. Look.
Of that surgery down there, one must have every single hair done that. In order to do that, it would take a year or two to have that done. It's literally not even a possibility with where...
Right, and they just started taking hormones back in February, even though they've been like this since they were 8. You know you're probably just gay, right?
I am in my transition.
So look, from her perspective.
Do you understand, do you hear the way they're talking to this person? Do you understand? They're not only are they walking on eggshells, but they're talking to them like they would talk more clearly to Sean and Marley and feel like they're getting through to someone. It's very clear that everyone who kind of interviews or talks to a trans person is like, okay, I have to walk on eggshells and I have to be very careful because I feel like I'm talking to a remarkably unstable human being.
I'm just wondering if you see her perspective. She's saying that she's looking...
No, can I interrupt? And I'm sorry I'm pausing so much. No, let me spoil it for you, Harvey. This person is not going to see Tish's side of the story. They never fucking do. It's always them. It's me. It's whatever I need to do. Fuck any woman who might feel uncomfortable.
Looking at you, say, in a towel, and you still have male genitalia, and, you may be transitioning, but could you understand her being uncomfortable?
If you can't, I'm going to shatter one of my televisions.
Well, I certainly do not understand it, but I do get the notion of the fear mongering that she's perpetuating.
Oh my fucking God, it's everybody else's fault. I don't know why I'm so mad. I don't know why it makes me so angry. I saw it coming from a mile away. I predicted it. I called it. I knew it was going to happen. God damn it. Like, this is why people, no offense, can't fucking stand you. Because you come in, you throw your fucking weight and your cock around, you demand that 99% of the population change everything around for them, for you. You demand that everybody feel uncomfortable just so you can go wherever the fuck you want, create a whole new set of rules just for you. And then when we go, I'm not so sure I'm comfortable with this, bigot, hateful rhetoric, you're evil, you're bad. Sit down, shut up, let me wave my cock in every woman's face that there is. You understand I'm talking about this person, not me. This is going to get clipped. Sit down, shut up, let me do whatever I want, and if you dare say a word about it, you're just hateful.
The truth in the moment is far from what she is purporting it to be. Literally every time that she's done that, I've had women in the locker room comforting me because of how aggressive she was towards me.
So
that's because they were all just racist. See, we can do that too.
She was saying, why don't they have a third bathroom?
Right.
Especially the gym you're talking about at the Beverly Center. That's been recently built. They had a layout.
Wait a minute. So this fucking asshole had a third bathroom and was going to the women's bathroom anyway. What a bag of shit. So this is someone who's just looking for the attention, got their attention, and is basking in the 15 minutes.
That they
didn't even have to cut their cock off for it.
They could have adjusted and they could have put a third locker room in. Do you think that would have been appropriate, or do you feel like—
No, they're not going to think it's appropriate, Harvey. What she's going to say is, well, since I'm a woman, I get to change in the woman's You know, this is really fucking gross because you feel like a man. I feel like a woman. You feel like a woman. So you feel like you can throw your weight around and do whatever you want. Meanwhile, these women had to be born a woman, go through female puberty, have periods, everything else. And you Johnny come lately, just come in and go, accept me or else. Fuck.
Like you are as in.
It's violent. It really is. It's violence, what they're doing.
Entitled to use the women's locker room just as Tish is?
You know, that's a great question. I'm glad that she said it, that you have put it on the air. And the answer is that would necessitate two different ones, because some people trans MTF, some people go FTM.
What if we just call it the Freakazoid bathroom? Would that be okay? Could we do... You know, see what I mean? It's never fucking good enough. Ever. Never, ever good enough.
And so that's two rooms right there. You're not going to put a trans woman with a trans man. Just
Why? You have a cock and you go swinging it around in front of women, making them feel uncomfortable. You don't give a shit who's bothered by it. Oh, but now all of a sudden, if it's you who has to feel uncomfortable, now we should make more changes. God, you just assholes. Just dicks. It's almost like there's an underlying mental illness that actually has nothing to do with the trans thing.
Because we're trans, that seems like a new envelope of discrimination. But yeah,
you're always the victim.
I feel like this had to happen in order for people to learn about trans. It's
oh yeah, no, we haven't been inundated with it. You're right. That's really the problem. It hasn't been thrown in front of our face enough. I gotta cut this one off. I'm getting mad. I'm just making I thought I was gonna make it through. We had a few jokes in there. We had a few yucks. We had a few ha-has, but I just at the end of it, I hung on to that one as long as I could. But Jesus Christ, it's just, I hate that I can call it. I hate that I can predict it. I hate that it's always the same. That's the worst part. Regaza with $5 says, Toe, you may ask yourself why this dude likes me. No, Regaza, I don't. Because you stand 10 toes down against the chains. $1 or $5 from Regaza. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. But I don't know. I think I'm good. I appreciate that, pal. You know what I appreciate? I appreciate your passion, really. 160 away from tonight. Gray Duckling gifting a membership over on Rumble. Thank you. That puts us 155 away. And 79 gifted memberships away from 400. Thanks, guys. Her name is Old Saddle Puss. One person writes. Gray Duckling with another $2 says, sounds just like a bunch of cunts. She does a pretty good impression, doesn't she? By the way, that puts Gray Duckling at 152 for the week. Still in first place. Great work. Gay cuckling, as it were. Veldrain with $1 says, next military project to give a try. Trump's trans troopers. Send all of them. MSO says, Aaron worships at the Church of Saints and Taints. That's not accurate. That's not true. I don't even believe that church exists. Redbird with $1 says, now take everything you said and replace it with the people that developed this whole shit and watch how fast your career disappears. Oh, you're saying that this whole thing was encouraged and created by... I mean, it is gross how they just want to stir up problems and how they revel in it. And then when you try to compromise with them in the most reasonable way possible, that's still bending over backwards for them. And they just go, actually, no. And for you to say that is actually really hateful and bigoted. It's, oh, really? Like them disagreeing with how you want society to be equals hatred and bigotry. Regaza with $5 says, Toe, you need to see the film Thief. I rarely work for others. You're effing up. Regaza, send me a goddamn email or keep sending me $5 at a time. I'm not hating our arrangement so far. 150 away from tonight's goal. Just keep this vibe going. Just keep this vibe going, man. Death Row says some people go FTM, some people go ATM. No, that's ass to mouth. That is a totally different thing. This person was talking about female to male transition, not anal sex into mouth. And besides, you never go ass to mouth. All right, he says, Mad Aaron is the best Aaron. Yeah, but it's kind of, remember in Iron Man 2? Where Tony Stark could only do that like red laser shoot thing one time. It's like Mad Aaron takes a lot out of Aaron. And I was kind of hoping to like watch a movie or something after the show tonight. Get ready for our last goal of the week tomorrow morning. You know, that kind of a thing. I wasn't looking to, have a coronary on the air tonight. Text message, to be fair, he doesn't understand because as a guy, you wouldn't care if a woman came into the men's locker room. Some would. I not many, maybe, but I think some would. They'd be like, look, let me fluff this thing a little bit if there's going to be girls in here. I was in the pool. Gay Cuckling with $20 says for Regaza, not Kmart. All right, we're going to add that one to Regaza's total. Thank you, Gray Duckling, for the 20. Wanna fuck? Let's fuck! There we go. That's our big $20 drop. I love that one. Oh my God, a few more of those and we're done for tonight. Goal-wise, thank you. 135 and 79 memberships on Rumble away from 400. Regaza with $2 says, Toe, April was beautiful. What the fuck happened? Anybody want to sit him down and give him the Cliff Notes? Oh, boy. Have you ever heard of Summer's Eve? K-Fall in the Great with $2 says, no offense, but like you haven't been part of this problem with your I call them what they want to be called attitude, supporting their mental illness. I mean, honestly, I do that to keep it simple for the story. I do, because I could spend the first 5 minutes of a story getting hung up on male, female. Just fucking pick one. Pick one and get to the point. So we can all start yelling. Veldrain with $1 says, I'm reminded of the Ricky Gervais bit. Her penis, you bigot. That's right. Her penis. You piece of shit. How dare you call that his penis? I don't like it either. I don't like it either. 135 away from tonight. Thanks a million. What are we looking at? 231 is the number for tonight. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit follow. I appreciate you being here. Grab a few more people, bring them in. We haven't hit 300 on the evening shows this week. But here's my thing. Evening shows hit the goal. I'm fine with whatever the audience size is, as long as you guys are having a good time. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, and Rumble Rants. We got it down to 135 by 7 o'clock. That looks good by my count. Keep it up, guys. So you know about Brett Cooper, right? Brett Cooper she's a pretty girl. She's a woman. She's like 20-something. She's a very young. I'm like 38, so I say kid, even though I know they don't like that. But she's a kid who worked for Ben Shapiro, and she was kind of his goy young lady who would talk about like pop culture shit. So for a lot of young people who don't really care about politics, when Ben Shapiro goes, and the taxes should go to Israel so that they can kill Muslims, because what did Ben Shapiro say about Muslims? They like blowing things up, not building things. It's like, yeah, it's almost like they're being occupied by a violent nation for the last 70 years, but never mind. You do know that the Zionists came into the Middle East and just started moving in and bombing and attacking shit and committing acts of terrorism, right? Like that is how the whole, you know what? Not important. Anyway, Brett Cooper was Ben Shapiro's pretty Christian white girl who would talk to millennials Gen Z, who didn't give a shit about politics, but liked to hear about Taylor Swift and other stuff. So she would go on her show and she would like throw a little shade at Taylor Swift and, ooh, Daily Wire's got a younger contingent. Well, Brett Cooper kind of took off, in fairness to her. She did very well. So she said, well, fuck the Daily Wire. I don't need them anymore. I'm going to go do my own thing. So she did. And she's been doing her own thing, and she's doing very well at it. But there's this weird thing that happens to people who leave the Daily Wire. They don't really feel the need to defend Israel anymore. As a matter of fact, every woman who's left the Daily Wire has taken a very strong pro-Palestinian or anti-Israel stance. Candace Owens, Brett Cooper. You've got someone like Matt Walsh, who's still taking the Ben Shapiro checks and still go ahead and sucking up to his Jewish boss. And even he can't defend Israel anymore. So his position on it is he goes, well, actually, I don't care about Israel. I don't care. That's always been my position. You can go check it out. Like when I said like beards are dead because weak men started growing beards, Matt Walsh is case A in that. But he goes, actually, Megan, you ask my opinion. Because Megyn Kelly was pushing him saying like, Ben Shapiro is like super pro-Israel to the point where he's like pro-genocide, pro-ethnic cleansing of the Palestinians. What the fuck, Matt? And Matt Walsh is like, actually, if you look at all my work going back years, I don't care about Israel. I just don't care about it. And it's like, that's more of a sociopathic response, in my opinion. So like tens of thousands of people dead, women and children, people getting shot in the head, trying to get food. All of that's still like living in a constant state of occupation for 20 some odd years like that. That's 60 technically. That doesn't. So for you to like, it's one thing to go, well, Israel has a right to defend themselves and clear out anyone who's hostile to them. Okay, that's a position, I guess. Or you say, no, I'm against what Israel's doing. It's fucking horrible. It's war crimes. It's a genocide. It's terrible. These people are starving. But to have your position be, oh, yeah, I see all the stuff that's going on over there. I just don't care. I have better things to do. Jesus, dude. We're not saying you got to run for president, get the office, and then make policy on the fucking thing. But that's the best Matt Walsh can do because he's Ben Shapiro's goy boy. Now, Brett Cooper is not under the thumb of the Daily Wire anymore, and she decided she should speak out on the current schism that's happening in the Republican Party. Because right now there's the Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens wing that wants to talk to people like Nick Fuentes, debate people like Nick Fuentes. And then there is the Jewish neocon false conservative wing of the Republican Party who would become Democrats tomorrow if Democrats became the party of supporting Israel. That's a fact. There's that wing who now wants to paint anyone who talks to Nick Fuentes as anti-Semitic and now not MAGA. You don't love Trump if you talk to Nick Fuentes. Forget that Nicholas J. Fuentes named his show America First after a Trump rally. So Brett Cooper decided to weigh in on this. And I'm seeing a lot of conservatives who don't even like Tucker, don't even like Nick Fuentes, come out and say, look, we're supposed to be the party of free speech. We're supposed to be the party of not silencing people and not canceling people. We talk to them. That's what we do. You know, it is so wild to see all these people who were against cancel culture now try to change the definition of cancel culture so that they can do it to people on the right that don't agree with them. It's easy when it's libs doing it, right? But what about when it's your own? So Ben Shapiro the other day goes, actually, I'm not canceling Nick Fuentes. I just don't want him to have a platform anywhere. It's like, dipshit, that's canceling someone. No, I'm not saying he shouldn't have a platform. In fact, I think he should be unbanned from all those platforms. Okay, great. I just don't think anybody should have him on. Motherfucker, that's... So all these neocon guys are changing the definition of all of their shit so that they can keep this guy out. Now, I subscribe to a very basic rule. If people are trying to keep a guy out of a conversation, whether I agree with him or disagree with him, that's usually a guy worth listening to. So this is Brett Cooper talking about some of those people, one of them being Randy Fine. If you don't know who Randy Fine is a congressman who took a wrong turn and he missed the Knesset because he really should be a parliamentarian in Israel. He is as Israel first gets. And this is what Brett Cooper had to say about Randy Fine.
But this whole thing is also just frankly comical. Like, I mean, a room of 200 people coming together to shit on a podcaster. Like, this is not serious behavior. But again, who is surprised when it comes to these characters? Like Randy Fine, if you don't know who he is, he's a representative from Florida. He's the same guy who bragged about not washing his hands after he had a handshake with Netanyahu. He's repeatedly...
Jesus. What a fucking weirdo. He's like Marsha Brady. I'm never going to wash this cheek again. Oh, my God. Netanyahu had the blood of a Palestinian child on his hand when he shook mine. I just licked my fingers clean. We love it so much.
Introduce bills to criminalize anti-Semitism, infringing upon free speech. I mean, he obviously, I'm sorry to say, but he obviously cares more about Israel than he does, principles like free speech. So, buddy, like my advice to you, Randy Fine, is just move to Israel at this.
Fucking based. All right. Brett Cooper. Well, if you were wondering if she works for the Daily Wire still, that should answer it for you. Wow, you should just move to Israel. So she's kind of giving him the go back to your country bit. I don't know. I like it. I'm for it. She got a lot of shit for that online, too. I mean, not a lot of shit. You can just ignore it. But, like, a lot of people complained about that one. Good for her. What else?
Like, considering you had to go through anger management classes a few years ago, I genuinely think you would probably be happier if you just moved to Israel. And that's not a dig at him. That's just a fact. It's a nudge of encouragement. I want everybody to be happy. I want everybody to be healthy. I think you would be happier if you just moved to Israel. You could be over there singing songs with Mike Huckabee.
I like her. Well, the thing is, though, if they go and move to Israel, Israel's a very small country with a much smaller GDP. But if they suckle onto this country, they can use our $30 trillion a year GDP, and they can use our economy to suck it dry and get what they can from that and give it to their friends in Israel and in the military-industrial complex. Ain't that something? Gaza with $2 says, praise Christ. F these false chosen. Well, I agree with that. That first part is very nice. Skybrick with $2 says, don't taunt Shulies. I make money from this stock market. Sorry. I apologize. I didn't want to go too hard in the paint for you. I ain't trying to fuck with anybody's money. $1 from Rusty Grammar. He says, Aaron wants us to believe he's never been in a shower with another man. to the suds rolling down the crack of his ass. We believe him, right? Why? That's too graphic. And no. $5 from Miss Tay says Randy should only be a verb, never a noun. Ooh, I'd hate to see Randy fine Randy. No thanks. In this case, I'm glad it's just a noun. Not 2:30, 1:30 away from our final goal of the evening shows. Thank you very much. 1:30 away from tonight. Hooters Girl says speeding your voice up makes you sound just like Ben Shapiro. Well, there we go. So she did another one. She did a couple of clips here. This one, this person who posted it said, if you were wondering why Brett Cooper left the Daily Wire, look no further. She just wanted to tell the truth. Kudos to her. All right, continue, Brett.
You are so blinded by your ridiculous, insane hatred of Tucker Carlson that you cannot see how irresponsible and hypocritical you are being. I mean,
she said Nazi, get her.
These tweets from Ted Cruz, I'm going to read you next, are a great example of this. So just a month ago, he tweeted this. He said, they don't kill you because you're a Nazi. They call you a Nazi so they can kill you.
Oh my God, I totally agree with that. That's a great point Ted Cruz makes. I hope he doesn't throw his back out twisting too far so that he can defend Israel and Zionism by calling someone else a Nazi. That would be so fucking embarrassing for Ted Cruz. I'm sorry, Brett. Continue. What else do you have to say?
Political violence is a left-wing phenomenon. Enough is enough. We need to shut it down. And then in response to Fuentes and Tucker this week, he tweeted this. Trump's bombing of the Ayatollah's nuclear facilities made the little Nazi mad.
But Ted, you said that if someone was a Nazi, that they were just trying to kill them, that they were just diminishing them to try and. But when the Israelis do something, then anyone who's critical of them, then they're not. Wait a minute. I'm starting to think this guy might be a stinky, shitty hypocrite. Whoa. I'm sorry, Brett. Continue.
Good. So now you're turning around and you're calling somebody that you don't like a Nazi. You're doing this out of blind rage because you're so angry that the conservative base's attitudes are rapidly changing, that Nick Fuentes is getting national attention, and so you have turned around and in response, you are compromising your own values in anger, which is such a dangerous precedent to set. And unfortunately for you guys, yes, the attitudes are changing. So again, it makes sense why this group is incredibly frantic.
They've lost the youth forever. The pro-Israel lobby. They've lost them forever. They're not coming back. There's no putting that. Like, the best they can hope for is for widespread indifference at this point. Because there's a lot of people who are just mad. You know, our taxpayer dollars go to fund their wars. And then the backlash from those wars are things like 9/11 that they don't fucking bother to tell us about. Oh, so there's a lot of reasons to be really angry with Israel and hate Israel if you're an American. So I think the best these guys can hope for, these old neocon shitheads, the best they can hope for from Gen Z and millennials is that we're just indifferent. Because if you really want to push us to have an opinion on this issue, I don't think you're going to like where that goes. I don't think you're going to like where that goes. My lost interest says, not enough forehead, Aaron. Why? Look, I do not. Foreheads are not a thing with me. All right. Foreheads are not a thing with me. That's it's incidental. It's something that, you know, it's come up a couple of times. I'm not a forehead man. Let's go look at who I think is one of the most beautiful celebrities of my time. And let's see if she has a large forehead. Let's put this to bed once and for all. If you ask me, Scarlett Johansson has an incredibly normal forehead. That is a normal foreheaded lady. It's not large. It's not small. It's, well, this picture, it does look it's not important. My point is, I do not consider the forehead when I consider the attractiveness of a mate. And no, MSO, I am not more of a foreskin type person. Thank you very much. Gray Duckling with $5 says she's actually really pretty, but her mouth that just keeps going and going and going and going. There's nothing. She's fine. There's nothing wrong with her. Thank you for the $5, Gray Duckling. I appreciate it. You guys are doing this 5 at a time. We've had 120 tonight. That's it. And we're down to 125. We're also 79 gifted memberships on Rumble away from 400. I really want to get to 400 this week because then I think next week we have no expirations and we can very easily hit that 500 mark. So there's that. 125 away from tonight and 79 away from 400. Wilt Chamberlain says Scarlett Johansson is a complete smoke show. Yes, of course. I mean, I almost feel like I'm cheating. Not on my significant other, but like I'm cheating in terms of, name an attractive celebrity. I feel like Scarlett Johansson is like a universal get out of an opinion free card. You know? By the way, I got to update Gray Duckling, as he's now grown his lead to 158. He gave $1 earlier than that 5. Sanford Sun is in second tonight at $1.40. Kmart Ready, who got this by tribute, is at 110. TDR Shit Show at 75. And Amateur Amp at 70 is in central booking. Hunter with $2 says, she's fine, said Aaron how many times? She's fine. What? Brett Cooper? She is. I like Brett Cooper. Sabrina Carpenter is hot. You know, I've never really looked at. What is Sabrina Carpenter? She's a singer, right? I'm not into like that kind of music. I mean, she's cute. There's not, I mean, I can't say anything negative about Sabrina Carpenter. She's very pretty. Almost, does this make sense? Like she's almost too pretty. If that, like she almost, like it looks like she's gimmicked up in a way. Like it looks like she's been designed to be super hot. I don't know. If I'm making sense here, I'm making sense. If I'm not, I'm not. But I know what I'm trying to say. I'm more of a Sydney Sweeney guy. I know the knock on Sydney Sweeney is that a lot of people think she looks like she has a little bit of Down syndrome. I disagree. I don't think so. But I'm more of a Sydney Sweeney guy than a Sabrina Carpenter guy. Mad Move says Aaron likes a woman akin to Blair White. That's no, Landers, not Bailey J either. And then there's the most beautiful woman of all time to me. The most beautiful woman of all time. Very specific. You know what? Let's see how many of you who have been following Steel Toe long enough to know me well enough to know the answer to this question. And by the way, if what Regaza is saying is true and Sabrina Carpenter is 4'9", that's creepy. Gray Duckling says I'd tap that Downs chick. Let's not say that. Don't say things like that. That's just because you're in first place in our donos this week, and that reflects on. Don't. Link to the Jake says Sydney Sweeney is more attractive than Sabrina Carpenter. There you go. I agree. No, my lost interest, not Whoopi Goldberg. Other people saying SP. Yes, in my real life, SP is the most beautiful woman alive. But if we're talking celebrities and things like that, I'm saying celebrity crushes, things of that nature. My all-time great, my ATG, my top of the heap, cream of the crop, rises to the top. Yeah. I'm talking about, cracking slapping, you're right and you're wrong. You said Camp Rock chick. Not Camp Rock Demi Lovato. That would be weird. Hulkamasha Baby says Hayden Panettiere. Close. 09 Canyon says it's Demi Lovato in her they phase. No, not they phase. She looked like a chipmunk. No. Hulkamasha Baby says, heroin addict chick. Yes. DB says Demi. That's it. Yes, it was Demi. But it's a very specific Demi Lovato. Not Joy Behar. No. 2017 Demi Lovato is the most beautiful woman, celebrity, who ever lived. 2017 Demi Lovato. Let me just educate the kids who don't remember. That's just a beautiful girl. And yes, in my opinion, I think it's this picture specifically. This one here in the blue. Although this one's great as well. Not against that one. But she was, there is a mild problem with 2017 Demi Lovato. There was a recall on the 2017 Demi Lovato model. You see, this one got hooked on lethal amounts of heroin and would overdose semi-regularly. You know, like I have a really nice sports car, but like there's some kind of weird thing with the upper plenum and the like a head gasket issue and it floods a lot. That, like an intake manifold problem. So like you have a beautiful sports car. It's fantastic. It's got a flooding problem. She had an overdosing problem. Beautiful model, just little problem with setting spoons on fire, if you catch my drift. DB says, be honest, Aaron, how many have you knocked out to Demi? It's been a long time. I haven't thought of Demi Lovato in that way for, God, probably since the first time she went away for the heroin overdose after 2017. Because then remember, she came back. And after she came back, like she got not even fat, but she cut her hair in a way that made her face look fat. And then she's like, I'm polygender or whatever, or pangender, and I'm vegan. And like she went to, didn't she go to a frozen yogurt place and she like gave them a whole bunch of shit and put them on blast on social media because like she was vegan now, and they were like, and she was like, I don't have a place where I can get froyo that respects my vegan whatever. And then the frozen yogurt place goes, we literally have a whole section over here that's vegan friendly. Why did you have to talk a bunch of shit about us? So she got done with all the heroin and everything, and she went a little batshit. Old Demi Lovato. But again, 2017 Demi Lovato, top of the heap. Top of the heap. Did you guys know, you guys remember a Minnesota Vikings offensive tackle, first round draft pick, former Pro Bowler, kind of flamed out. He had injuries and shit. Do you remember Matt Khalil? You're going to remember Matt Khalil. Matt Khalil is going to be somebody imprinted into your brain because of this next segment. Matt Khalil was married to some supermodel for a while, and they had to get divorced. The reason they had to get divorced is maybe the coolest reason a guy has ever had to have a woman leave him. So he and his wife filed for divorce a few years ago. Matt Khalil has since remarried to another model. But this woman went on some podcast and decided to divulge these secrets about her marriage to former Pro Bowl lineman Matt Khalil. And while losing a partner and having a relationship fail is very sad, it's awful, it's terrible. Nobody gets into relationships to have them fail, no matter what I've told you. This might be the coolest reason a man has ever been left before. This is, I don't even care about this woman's name. This is Matt Khalil's ex talking about him.
Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
No, I know what you're saying, but like, for how long?
Oh, no.
Shut the f up.
Our whole marriage.
Shut the f up.
No, dead
up.
Dead ass.
Shut the f up.
But I was gonna try. I was gonna try it all. Yeah. Therapists, doctors.
You're lying.
Not even lying. Looked up like lipo type shit. You know what I mean? Like. Mm-hmm.
Do you know what she's talking about right now? Are you following the conversation? Like what she's trying. You saw her start the conversation by putting her forearm down on the table. She's saying she had to divorce Matt Khalil because he had way too big of a cock. And before you say a word, yes, white guy. Matt Khalil. Those of us who are Vikings fans remember Matt Khalil. If you're a Panthers fan, you remember his brother Ryan Khalil. He was a center. And look at this bitch. She's still smiling about it. Even after the divorce and everything else, she's smiling about the fucking elephant trunk that old Matt Khalil had.
What? What the
trigger. It's like kind of funny. It's like my life is a comedy and it writes itself.
Well, I pay my exes to go on podcasts and say shit like this about me, and they won't. And then this woman just goes on and tells it for free. But if you're Matt Khalil, like, do you really? I mean, it's in a way it's a compliment, but she's also saying, like, I had to go to therapists. My husband's cock was so big, I couldn't have sex with it right. So it took intimacy out of our marriage and I had to get divorced, but I was going to try therapists and counseling. Imagine you go to a therapist. That therapist has heard every single problem with every single relationship. You walk in there and you go, his cock is just way too big. And the doctor's like, get the fuck out of here. And she's like, no, I'm serious, doctor. No, I know you're serious. I'm saying get the fuck out of my office. This is not... Take what you can and put the rest in a doggy bag. You'll be fine. She's talking about she looked up liposuction options. This guy was rocking such a monster that she was thinking of having a needle stuck in it and having, like, I don't know, what do you want drained out of it?
Like, okay, okay, I don't want to
No. Yeah.
Was this like...
Gotta be honest, this interviewer is a little too into my former offensive lineman's dick. There shouldn't be this many follow-up questions. She's like, oh, yeah, it was like a tree trunk like this. Oh, yeah, big dick, huh? All right, that's great. Anyway, so what's your OnlyFans address?
Was that the...
You know, the weirdest part about their divorce had to be is when she said, honey, I know that you're going to be fine and I'm going to be fine. We'll go our own ways. Could you make a plaster cast of your cock first so I could just take it with me?
That was the biggest factor?
Yeah, the biggest factor, yes.
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like love him, but he's my homie, you know?
Every time I went to bed with him, it was like he was splitting a cord of wood. I look like that guy getting butchered in the Green Inferno every time he would hump me.
But no chance, like no shot.
No, because it was like he like he's like 0.01% of the population.
Oh, it's like that.
Yeah. I just found the right one. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
You tried though?
Oh yeah, of course.
Like,
of course. We tried everything. Impossible. Like unless it...
That's like the coolest thing, but like the saddest thing at the same time for Matt Khalil. Like I'm trying to decide if I'm like, what's up, dude? Nice job. Good for you. Or if I'm like, you poor bastard. Like that's like the one thing you're supposed to be like, yeah, let's get it. And for him, he shows it to them and they're like, it's like somebody running away like from Lenny in Of Mice and Men, and he has to grab them and shake them to get them to stop.
You know, you're going to be in tears type shit. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Look at this guy. He's way too fascinating.
Crazy story.
Isn't that crazy?
I'm not showing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, is she just showing? Hey, you're going to get in a lot of trouble for that. You're going to get in a lot of trouble.
So I'm like...
And like all good? Like...
Totally fine. Yeah,
okay,
yeah. I mean,
okay.
like average, like...
No, yeah.
All the way from like, yeah, but totally fine.
Okay.
No, he was just...
Yeah.
Two Coke cans stacked on top of each other. Maybe even a third.
2 Coke cans stacked on top of each other. Pff. Like all of us, am I right, guys? 2 Coke cans. More like 20-ounce bottles, right? $5 from Hunter says, your look of fascination during this video is not helping the gay allegations. That's not, he was a former Viking, so it's totally different. This is just about me as a football fan. DB says he called his dick the javelin. No wonder Khalil Mack couldn't get to the quarterback against Matt Khalil. This is more of a Julius Peppers era, I would say. I got a fucking jalapeno for you, Julius. Mad Move says Vikings plus big dicks equals Aaron's dream every night. You don't know what's in my head. 09 Canyon says, how is Khalil a white guy's name? His first name's Matt. How white isn't that? Taste Fairy Ialto with possibly the least useful information on this story says, I also have an autographed Captain Munnerlyn helmet. Hang on to that. Is Captain Munnerlyn up for the Hall this year? Taste Fairy says, I have an autographed Matt Khalil jersey. Well, you should have had him trace his cock on it. Jesus. So, Matt, how do you think Matt Khalil feels about that story being told? My Lost Interest says it was actually literally the biggest factor in the divorce. That's true. But it's not like she's telling the story like she misses it. So she divorced the guy because his cock was too big for her to enjoy sex. Yet at the same time, she's like smiling as she talks about it. DB says the next person she shags will need rescuing from special cave divers. The shit goes back. Like a vagina has elasticity. Now, if he caved in her asshole, you could probably yodel into the fucking thing. But as far as her vagina goes, she'll be fine. She'll be fine. Derek from Texas says, I talked shit to Toe last night and woke up with the stomach flu. Learned my lesson. Another win for the Toe. We gave him cancer. Yes. You lose. We win, Derek. Enjoy shitting your brains out. 120 away from tonight. Keep it going. 298 is our number right now. Guys, just two more of you coming on to watch this program, and we get to 300 for the first time this week. Oh, my God. Rumble Studio is spitting the number 298 at us, and it's just taunting me. Went down to 297. Of course it did. Oh, fucking course it did. Just can't shoot the 300. Now to 295. Oh, my God, Aaron, stop looking at it. Stop looking at it, Aaron. Oh, sorry, I'm still on the Matt Khalil story. 294. Oh, my God. Like, subscribe, follow. Get us in some algorithms, for Christ's sake. All right, guys, throw in a couple of memberships. Throw in a couple of... Let's get that number down a little bit under 100 and feel good about hitting this final goal of the week for the evening shows and being one step closer to a perfect week. Everybody all together on Rumble right now, I want all of you, as many as humanly possible, gifting one membership and getting that number up. Let's start a big membership train. What do you say? You know, that's what the Vikings locker room used to call Matt Khalil's penis, the membership. Because it's his cock. So let's, in honor of Matt Khalil's giant penis, it's not gay if you gift a membership. Go ahead. 09 Canyon says, I refuse to believe they couldn't find plenty of fun ways to both get off. Don't have to divorce. Well, you go ahead and show all of us what you would do for Matt Khalil's cock to make him comfortable in the marriage. Go ahead, 09 Canyon. See, I put him in a completely unwinnable position, and that's not fair. On a wall with a gifted membership, thank you very much. 115 away from tonight and 78 memberships away from 400. That's it. Everybody throw one membership in. It's a membership train on the Toe. Silverwolf says, don't look at it, Aaron. Keep your eyes closed. I'm not looking at it. I'm not looking at anybody's genitals, I promise. My Lost Interest said her mouth is big enough. Yeah, but she has to put in one of those things you wear at the dentist when you're getting your teeth worked on for a large period of time, just so she can get it in there. Gray Duckling with $10, Gay Cuckling, as they're calling him now. Thank you for the $10, Gay Cuckling. Oh, no, it's a clip. Maybe I shouldn't thank him. That's not good. Give him the $10 drop.
I have sworn on the altar of God, total resistance against every form of tyranny, against the mind of men.
This isn't good. What did I mean, I was just talking about another guy's dick for a long time. This is not going to be good. All right, let's get this over with. I talked shit to Toe last night and woke up with the stomach flu. Learned my lesson. Another win for the toe. We gave him cancer. That's, you know what? That's unprofessional. You know what, Derek from Texas, that now that I'm watching myself do this, now that I'm watching my behavior back, that's wrong. That was wrong, and I should be shunned for it. Halloween Lady got that gifted membership from On a Wall. That's awesome. That's nice. Pass that along, you guys. Like I said, everybody possible, just start gifting memberships like crazy. All right, this next one is, this is, I think, the most embarrassing Joe Rogan clip I've seen in a long time because, you know, I'm the guy who says that, you know, there's too much Rogan hate out there. I think a lot of people kind of exaggerate just because Joe Rogan's popular. They feel like they have to hate him. You know, it's kind of like Nickelback or kind of like how Dane Cook was. It's like, you only hate him because a lot of people like him. He made a lot of money and he's extremely popular. That is a real thing. There are a lot of people out there who hate certain groups, comedians, bands, people just because they're successful. And as soon as you can always tell who's guilty of that because the minute you say that, they go, no, it's fucking bullshit. That's cope. It's like nobody would get that angry if we weren't hitting a nerve, you know? So Joe Rogan, I've always kind of thought a lot of these people dislike Joe because they're jealous of him. But there's a few things that have happened lately that really do kind of make it hard to defend Joe Rogan. Number one is the fascination with these billionaire robber barons. You know, he let all these billionaires talk him into being a Trump guy. And look, I voted for Donald Trump, but it's like Joe sacrificed a lot of his curiosity. I think what made Joe Rogan very popular in the beginning was how curious he was about stuff, about the world, about science, about politics, about apes and shit. And he would look a lot of stuff up. You know, look that shit up, Jamie, would be a common refrain. Now he talks to a lot of these billionaire guys, or he talks to that fucking weirdo Duncan Trussell, and he just takes them at their word. And then he repeats that shit back to someone else. And it does get a little strange. Another thing that happened to Joe Rogan, and this happens to all of us in life, in work, whatever. He got really comfortable with a group of sycophants who leeched off of him. He surrounded himself with people that are his friends, that like him, but a lot of them who like owe their careers to Joe Rogan, they started to be this cacophony of yes men that kind of, I would say, dulled Joe's edges, if you will. I'm talking about Brian Callen, Tom Segura, Bert Kreischer, especially, like all these guys, Andrew Schultz, guys who kind of owe their career to Joe Rogan. Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Rogan. Absolutely, Mr. Rogan. You're the best, Joe, man. These other guys, they just don't get it. So then when guys come in who like Joe Rogan, are friends with Joe Rogan, but Joe Rogan didn't make them, sometimes, I've noticed this, sometimes they'll bust Rogan's balls. And especially, this is sad for a comedian, it'll go right over Joe's head. Like he just will not catch it. Or something will bother Joe Rogan and he gets really kind of bitchy or snippy or changes the subject fast. It seems weird for a comedian who built his whole show on riffing with his friends and yes and bullshitting with guys. I find it easy to believe that a guy who gets hundreds of millions of fans, hundreds of millions of dollars, I dare anyone to not let that shit change them. But Joe Rogan had Big J. Okerson and Louis J. Gomez on his show. And they were making jokes about the RoganSphere, because I don't know if you know this, but the RoganSphere is the name that people online have given kind of Joe's circle of comedians. You know, Howard Stern had his Whack Pack. Joe Rogan has the RoganSphere. Now, that's kind of the guys I talked about before. But then there's guys who are like in the vicinity, but they have their own thing, like Shane Gillis, Big J, Dave Smith, the Legion of Skanks guys, Louis J. Gomez. So they were on and they wanted to you know, we've kind of, the curtain's been pulled back a little bit, and we know that Joe is kind of bothered by this internet shit, which I wish he wouldn't. You know, the Mark Maron thing bothered him. The elephant graveyard video kind of stuck in his craw a little bit. And I think these Crack-A-Miko songs kind of bug him. And, you know, Big J. Okerson and Louis J. Gomez are the complete opposite of Joe Rogan when it comes to that. They have a very easygoing sense of humor. Shit rolls right off their back. I kind of relate to that. You can rip on them, make fun of them, shit on them. They go, everybody has a right to do that. It's kind of like they've been shit on by Crack-A-Miko. They think it's hilarious. But they went into Rogan's studio and started talking about the RoganSphere. And you could tell that Joe is not a big fan of that term, does not like when people use it, sees it as negative because he tries to spin out of this immediately. And I'm just wondering if you guys are as uncomfortable as I was watching this the first time. Now, full disclosure, this is a video by Unique, YEWNEEK. I want you to go like and subscribe to Unique. Go watch this video. Here we go.
Here. I went, oh, really? He goes, yes. And then the last time we came in, I did smoke. And when it was done, call it like wearing lucky underwear or something. I was like, we had a good flip back and forth. We were all jiving. We made the RoganSphere. We did. Yeah. We officially got the RoganSphere.
Okay, so right there, that was uncomfortable. So right away, he says, we made the RoganSphere. And Joe, let's do that. I'm sorry I'm going to red bar this a little bit. Too much pausing. I'm sorry. But there are a few little giveaways that maybe I'm digging too deep into, but they made me uncomfortable when I heard them.
Wearing lucky underwear or something. I was like, we had a good flip back and forth. We were all jiving. We made the RoganSphere. We did. Yeah. We officially got the RoganSphere. We've been repping hard out there in the streets.
You should see us. We tell everyone.
I get my credits. I go from the Bonfire, Legion of Skanks, and most notably, the RoganSphere.
So the RoganSphere lately has kind of been a catch-all term for people shitting on Joe Rogan, shitting on Bert Kreischer, shitting on people like that. But again, Big J and Louis J. Gomez have always been guys who are like, it's the fucking internet. Who gives a shit? Have some fun. Joe doesn't see it that way. So Joe, Mr. Roll with it. Joe, Mr. Riffin. Joe, Mr. Go with the flow. Here's RoganSphere. Now you got a chance to maybe, you know what people really like? Even if they say they hate your guts, when you're self-deprecating and you kind of roll with an inside joke, even your most ardent haters will give you credit for it. So let's see how Joe addresses the RoganSphere thing.
Notably, the RoganSphere.
The manosphere is a real subject. Like, people believe that it's real. That there's this, like, coalition of men, like, trying to convert young boys into the evil ways of being a man.
What? No, Joe, they said RoganSphere. You heard manosphere? They said rogue. I have a hard time believing you mistake the word man for your last name. I think you heard them say RoganSphere. Did you really just try to bullshit pivot into some Andrew Tate manosphere shit? Really? Come on, Joe. That shit's beneath you. They're trying to have a little fun with your thing. You got hundreds of millions of dollars on the Spotify deal alone. Let a bunch of fucking autistic guys on YouTube call you the RoganSphere. Who gives a shit? You can buy and sell them 1,000,000 times over. And that's, by the way, that's the biggest thing they have on you if you would just roll with this RoganSphere shit. Roll with the elephant graveyard thing. Roll with Too Lazy to Try. Just roll with it. Make some self-deprecating jokes about it, because then the only thing they have on you, Joe, is that you're rich and successful. And maybe the billionaire influencer thing.
Manosphere.
I think that's the same thing as the RoganSphere.
No, the manosphere, it's like there's levels to it. Wrong. Like Andrew Tate's the highest level.
See, look at that. He is trying to spin away from this RoganSphere thing so hard. Why? And it's uncomfortable because now Lewis and Jay are starting to get it. They're starting to catch on to Joe and his stern moving on this. So now they're going to be uncomfortable and they're just going to roll with it. Oh, just make a joke.
Oh, yes, right, of course.
Right? That's top G of the manosphere.
Of course.
If you're like categorizing those things, the thing that you're most terrified of is a guy like Andrew Tate.
I was never like stoked on that kind of like.
Yeah, if I'm a young like Ukrainian girl.
Yeah. I've never been to that kind of like The Maxim magazine, Spike TV, like.
So now look at how weird this like is anyone like I was uncomfortable when I watched this. Because now the conversation is like inauthentic and it's just this weird we're pivoting now to Maxim magazines when we were kids and like remember Olivia Munn? And I don't know. All because Joe Rogan can't laugh at a manosphere joke. So then there was something else that came up a little bit later, but I don't want to skip because I don't want to go too far here because I don't want to miss it.
Maxim magazine, like hometown chicks in their bikinis. I'm like, these girls would never talk to me. I just have like, too much self-loathing to be into it. It's
Dude,
like,
if you could
here's
make
fancy
money.
clothes. Well, I don't fit in those clothes. Like everything was just a bummer out of
See,
this.
now everything's uncomfortable. Everything's weird. This is not a real conversation. They're all trying to, change lanes because Joe's clearly uncomfortable with the manosphere thing.
Magazines. So I would just get straight
If they make a fucking Mark Maron joke, Joe's going to kick their ass out of the studio.
pornography.
Yeah.
And even
Could
now,
you keep being short, some like other like dude, and now everyone's like trashing her because she was like, you can't make fun of short people.
Hey, go back to that. Go back to that. What he said. It says Lemon said he thought Kelly looked chopped. He said, I think she looks trans. Lemon said. In response, Lemon's co-host wrapped up the show saying, let's end on that note.
that's fantastic.
Bro, that editor hates him. There's no way that editor doesn't hate him and say, let's end on that.
Clockable's a hilarious thing to call a woman.
That is so crazy. But also he's gay, right? So he doesn't know that Megyn Kelly's hot. She's dangerous, like super smart lawyer hot.
Is he out gay? I don't follow him. No, he's like an out gay guy.
Don Lemon? Yeah. Don Lemon's married to a guy.
Black guy?
I think he's married to a white guy.
Yeah. You're not going to put a black guy in your butt.
Good thing Joe Rogan doesn't have a problem with interracial gay sex jokes. Otherwise, we'd be fucking pivoting again.
Jesus Christ.
That's what they do.
Are you sure?
That's what gay sex is. I don't know. This is probably the first time this has permeated the RoganSphere.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it. So he goes right back to the RoganSphere. Let's see if we can get Joe to take a second bite of the apple. Let's see if we can get Joe to feel a little more comfortable with the RoganSphere.
You think the manosphere would know something about this? But
so when I was a kid, when I was young, like
Joe ain't biting. Joe's just gonna go right on to something else. Fuck the RoganSphere. We're not talking about it. Do you know how many people would be so happy if Joe Rogan would admit Bert Kreischer's a hack? Like that's all it would take for the internet to fall in love with Joe Rogan all over again. Is just go that fat shirtless retard, that fucking human embodiment of a turd. That notice me laugh asshole.
There was no online, obviously. And the first time I ever saw gay porn was a girl that I met at a comedy club.
What?
What are we? By Metzger when he hits you with conspiracy theories?
Ever.
Oh, here we go. So this is another one that he runs from. So they start bringing up Kurt Metzger and conspiracy theories. And again, Jay and Lewis are just going to naturally run onto something that they think is funny, and Rogan's just going to lay the brakes to it.
He stayed at my house a couple of weeks ago.
He looms over you and just like tells you, oh, you didn't know? Oh, you didn't know?
I tried to show him the Riyadh comedy.
Oh, yeah. So now Jay Okerson, now I remember, Jay Okerson is going to bring up a lot of the American Redact and Too Lazy to Try and Crack Amico Saudi Arabia stuff, and Rogan doesn't want to hear shit about it.
Festival rap that Crack Amico did.
Shout out Crack Amico.
Shout out Crack Amico. It's so good. So funny. And he does this, and then it's a funny rap that this guy who's like a fan of all of ours just writes about the universe. What's going on here?
The RoganSphere. Why would he didn't say Rogan? He would have said RoganSphere, but it's pissed Joe off twice now.
And Kurt, I mean, it's just a funny thing. Every 30 seconds he stops and he goes, the guy who runs Riyadh is actually the guy who stopped the guy who kills people. I'm like, I don't care, dude.
It's just a funny song, Kurt.
It's just a funny song, dude. He's like, these people don't even know. It's not a big deal for Krista Stefano. I'm like, I think he's just making a joke. It's just a fucking comedy thing.
Right, so like Joe Rogan doesn't like the Mark Maron shit, or he doesn't like the, I keep wanting to call him poignant pachyderm, but it's Elephant Graveyard. He doesn't like the Crack Amico stuff. But I feel like Jay and Lewis, who get shit on by that guy too, they have the right attitude. It's a fucking guy on the internet making a song. He can't hurt you.
He gets deep on everything. Everything has layers and layers and layers, and there's never a casual conversation with him.
Now he's unchecked.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Joe just, I mean, I don't know, though, like, especially that last one. Is that Joe, like, not wanting to talk about that shit? Or, like, something else I've noticed about Rogan is that sometimes, like, Joe just will straight up not be able to go back and forth with people. He won't be able to yes and he'll just put the brakes on a conversation and change to something else. Or Joe's also really terrible, ironically, at picking up jokes. Like, he'll fact check people's jokes. So I don't know, but that RoganSphere thing, he doesn't like that very much. Yeah, my lost interest calling it the Rogan pivot sphere. Sam Show says he attempted Jewish sorcery and it failed critically. It's, I think it's a couple of things. I think Rogan's a little out of touch because the money does that to you, naturally. And when he sees things that are really critical of him, for some reason, he still has that part of him that a lot of comics have. You'll see 99 people laughing in a room. You'll pick out the one guy who's not having a good time, and that'll fuck with you. And no matter how, this is a curse, unfortunately, for a lot of people. And Joe's still cursed with it. He'll still be able to, like Hassan Piker does on his streams, he'll be able to pick out that one person that isn't happy. It's too bad. It is. What are we at? 110 away from tonight. $110, and we've got ourselves a perfect week of evening shows. So in 45 minutes, oh my goodness. Hold on a minute. OG Anonymous Fake Dono says double digits. Thank you. We are at an even 100 for tonight. Thank you very much. OG Anonymous Fake Dono. We are at an even hundo for this evening. All right. Even hundo drops in. Like I said, everybody throws in a gifted membership or so. Oh, Wally World with a gifted membership. Thank you. Wally World putting us at 77 away from tonight's goal and 77 memberships away from 400 and $95 away from tonight's goal. Thank you, Wally World. I did say everybody watching on Rumble, throw a membership in. We'll be out of this in no time. Thank you guys very much. We're double digits away from a perfect week of evening shows once again for the toe. Oh my God. 296 is the number Rumble Studio is spitting at us right now. They just don't want to give me that 300, do they? 296. Son of a and then every time I go to check, the 3 times I've went to check tonight, 294, 292, it's going down. It's going down. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit follow. Thank you, guys. 95 away. Let's all throw in, call it another win for the toe. T. Jefferson says, I love that Big J knows exactly what he's doing. He really does. Because he kept turning that screw on the RoganSphere thing, and he wouldn't let it go. He got away with as much as he was allowed to. Ghislaine says, video YouTube stream not on. Uh-oh. Something happened. Well, it says our YouTube stream is good. I think that might just be you, but I'll, check it out for you. Yeah, they knew by that third time, though, once they mentioned the Crack Amico thing, they were like, all right, fine. Joe's not going to bite. We're good. $95 away from tonight. Rally up. Let's do it. We'll get down there nice and low. Drop it low and hit the goal. Zoran Mamdani is the new mayor of New York City. You probably haven't heard that yet. Not a lot of people are talking about it. Not a lot of people are talking about the fact that Zoran Mamdani is the new mayor of New York City. Not a lot of people think it's going to destroy New York City. People don't think it's going to cause wealthy people to leave and go to Florida. I'm not hearing from as many New York fans. I'm hearing from a lot of Florida fans about Mamdani more than I'm hearing from New Yorkers. Floridians are, we had people in the morning show chat today going, build a fucking wall right now, not on the southern border, on Florida's northern border. Keep these New Yorkers out of here. We don't want them. But with Mamdani talking about like anti-billionaire taxes, and he doesn't believe billionaires should exist, and finding a way to pay for these government-run grocery stores that he wants to build in New York City. It's a lot of people believe that it's going to lead to wealthy people, the tax base, leaving town. And naturally, why not go somewhere where you can afford, where it's warm year-round, it's nice. And usually Florida is the one that gets the refuse from all these blue states. Florida and Texas, they love the taxes, but the locals don't like it. They're having a hard time adjusting. Well, proving that some billionaires, especially billionaires who are tuned into the political game, I want to prove to you guys that these guys aren't Republicans. These guys aren't Democrats. They're just fucking wealthy worms. That's all they are. They're wealthy worms, every single one of them. Top of the list, the guy who's accused of making Charlie Kirk have a sit down a couple of weeks before his murder, Bill Ackman. So this Bill Ackman was against Zoran Mamdani, said all kinds of terrible things about him. He's a Muslim commie, this, that, and the other thing. Jews shouldn't support him because, all kinds of different reasons. The fucker wins the election. Zoran Mamdani wins the election. What does Bill Ackman do? Writes to him on Twitter and says, congrats on the win. Now you have a big responsibility. If I can help New York City, just let me know what I can do. Ackman posted late Tuesday. See, this is what I'm talking about. These guys have no principles. You don't get to be a billionaire by sticking to your principles. And what Bill Ackman is doing here is the same thing that the health insurance industry does, the same thing that the prescription drug industry does, and the military-industrial complex does. You feed both sides, whether it's with money or you feed their ego. You play both sides because more than your political principles, more than what you believe politically, what you really crave is access. And Bill Ackman could take his billions, he could go down to Florida, and he could fuck off forever. But Bill Ackman is addicted to being in control. So Zoran Mamdani wasn't the guy he wanted to become mayor, but you know what? Life hands you lemons. By God, he's going to try and make communist lemonade. He also probably wants to manipulate Mamdani so he won't try to do a lot of the socialist shit that he wants to do. The hedge fund titan, who vocally opposed Mamdani during the campaign, offered up his congratulations after his victory. Now, initially, Ackman endorsed Eric Adams before making a dramatic about-face to throw his support behind Cuomo. Again, why? Because he thought Cuomo could win. He endorsed Adams at first because he's like, well, he's the incumbent. I'll be in good with him. That'll be nice. Oh, no. You know what? Fuck him. He can't win. I'm going to endorse Cuomo. Well, Cuomo believes in a lot of shit you don't. My beliefs are not important. I just need to be close to the levers of power. Hey, Cuomo didn't win. It was that communist Mamdani that you've been talking all kinds of dirty shit about the entire campaign. Oh, Mr. Mamdani. Oh, Mr. Mamdani, please let me and my billionaire friends know if there's anything we can do for you, Mr. Mamdani. We is here at your service, Mr. Mayor. We's going to give you anything you need, Mr. Mamdani. Oh, Lord, you just say the word and we'll go step and fetch it for you, boss. Fucking guy. One thing I respect about Mamdani way more than I respect these hedge fund cunts like Bill Ackman is at least he stands for something. I think his ideas are shit, and I think it's going to be bad for New York. But Bill Ackman and his fucking weasel try to get into the halls of power no matter who it is. You understand all of these neocon guys who like love Trump all of a sudden? You know they were all never Trump to the man, right? David Frum, Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin, Ray Fine, all of these guys were never Trumpers in 2016. And a lot of them supported DeSantis in the primary this last time. They deal with Trump because they can't imagine being away from power. They're not Democrats. They're not Republicans. They're power-hungry sociopaths. I appreciated his words, Mamdani said. I think that what I find is that there is a needed commitment from leaders of the city to speak and work with anyone who is committed to lowering the cost of living in the city, and that's something I will fulfill, he added. So Mamdani is, in a very professional political way, telling Ackman, hey, as long as you want to get on my fucking train, buddy, go ahead and hop on, but I ain't asking you to. I mean, I'm torn here because Mamdani has a lot of shit ideas, but unlike Bill Ackman, at least he'll tell you. You know, it's like a friend of mine, a politician, used to say. He would say, hey, this liberal, I may disagree with them, but they will sit right down at your kitchen table and tell you exactly what they think they're entitled to. You got to respect that. It's better than a Bill Ackman who's just going to go, oh, boss, I'll do anything you need, anything you want. Sam Show says, you're troublingly good at that voice. What? It's practice. I watch a lot of 12 Years a Slave. Papa Shab says, everyone you listed is a Jewish war hawk. I wish they weren't, okay? I wish they weren't, because I would have the same criticism of them no matter what religion they were. The fact that they all seem to be Jewish is on them. It's not on me. All I'm calling out is their beliefs and their behavior. That's it. I don't give a shit about their religion. The fact that they're all Jewish, though, yeah. Well, I mean, that I can't control that. There's nothing I can do about that part of it. You know what else I can't do anything about? The fact that we're 37 minutes away from the end of the show tonight. We're $95 away from tonight's goal, 77 memberships away from 400. The audience is dropping like a rock, getting ready to be done. Let's throw in a couple of bucks before we leave and see if we can't call this another win for the toe. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, and Rumble Rants. Get in there, throw in a couple of dollars, and let's see. You guys have been consistently dropping that number down. I do so much appreciate it. Just one more push, like delivering a baby, and we will get there. All right, let's see what this whore was wearing. Sorry. Teacher, the later we get into the show, the lazier my transitions get. Teacher slammed for showing off inappropriate outfit. Club pants at a school. You know what, guys? You know what? I think you and I can be the judge of this. I don't think that, I don't think we should just, here's what I think. People shouldn't just read a headline and then make their decisions based on that. I mean, my God, if people think that a teacher is wearing something that's a little too revealing, then my God, I think as parents of children who go to school, we ought to make sure that we're policing these kind of things properly. So let's see what seems to be the problem there, Fussy Britches. A school teacher named Denise posted a TikTok of her outfit of the day, which has since been reposted to Twitter, where it garnered a lot of chatter and over 5 million views. The talked about outfit consisted of, well, you know what? Let's go to the link. Let's take a look. This is Denise. She's a school teacher. She posted this online, and a lot of people thought that maybe this was a little too much for school.
Happy Tuesday, teacher outfit of the day. I love my outfit today. I'm obsessed with these pants. They're Abercrombie. They're the pleather pants. They just have the best fit.
You're a fucking elementary school teacher, and those are totally camel toe ass pleather jeans. What the fuck are you doing? Shouldn't you be wearing like a knit sweater and like slacks? Like, shouldn't you be like borderline Hillary Clinton pantsuiting this? What are you doing? Put your pussy away. There's kids are going to be there in a little bit. What's wrong with you? Tie a sweater around your waist or something. How did we get to such a generation that now we have to have a dress code for the teachers? You know, before it was they made us turn our shirts inside out, or they made the girls cover up a little bit. Now it's the teachers got to, will you tie a sweater around your waist or something? Jesus fucking Christ. It is a little bit much. I mean, who are you? Erica Kirk at a funeral or something? My God, with those leather pants. It is a bit much for school. We can dress a little. Call me old-timey, call me old-fashioned. I think we can tone it down a little bit for the school day, of all things. My God. You know what? I'm going to go with them on this one. I think this was a bit much, especially since in the video, she like shows off her ass in the jeans. Now, there's another teacher who also moonlights as a fashion influencer with more than 134,000 TikTok followers, known for wearing tight-fitting, provocative outfits that people are clutching their pearls over. In one viral video, Miss Williams is seen wearing a nude pencil skirt, a white blouse, and black lace-up heels. Could we not do that for school? For fuck's sake.
My baddie.
Like, why am I the weird one?
My baddie.
Sorry. Why am I the weird one for going, yeah, maybe an elementary school teacher shouldn't be dressing like they're trying to get it. That's all.
My baddie. Teacher Bay neighbor.
Like, what the fuck? Your ass should not be out like that if you're a teacher. Why is it that when I talk to my friends, when I whispered to my friends in class, they said I had to leave class because I was being a distraction. But if that ass is right in your face while you're trying to learn about the other battle of the bulge, all of a sudden she's not a problem. Fuck. A little bit of a dress code. I mean, if you're going to make the kids have a dress code, you can have one too. That's a going out getting dick dress. That's not a educating the youth of our nation dress. Jesus. I mean, the one thing it is going to ensure is that the dads will show up for conferences. And I guess there is something to be said for that. 09 Canyon says, those shoes aren't appropriate for school. I didn't even make it to the shoes. I was at the ass bump. Baba Shab says, you should not be slutting it up for school. I joke, but seriously, no, you shouldn't. Shouldn't be slutting it up for school. Phil Herslit says Aaron has Kiki's nudes hanging on his bedroom ceiling right above his bed. I do not. I do not have Kiki's nudes hanging above my bed. Mr. Q says you don't care about PayPal. What do you mean? If somebody would contribute on PayPal, I would see it right away. And I would announce it on the program. Don't make fun of me because nobody's donating right now. Telling me I don't care about PayPal. I care about PayPal big time. There's a big difference between not caring about PayPal and not doing a show good enough to get any money on PayPal. Dick. Dr. Silverwolf says, LMFAO, the other battle of the bulge. Fuck you. I am a funny guy. Gray Duckling says, she's going with the Erica Kirk pants. She is. Those are the pants Erica Kirk was wearing when she fucking grabbed JD Vance around the neck like she was going to fucking make out with him and eat his face. I was uncomfortable, for God's sake. Usha was in the crowd, ladies and gentlemen. Usha. Isn't that what Roman Reigns says before he spears somebody? Isn't that the thing? Usha. Maybe it's just a shout out to JD Vance's wife. Death Row says, I need to go back to school. It's never too late to get an education, my friend. Never too late to get an education. Quite frankly, I'm impressed by your moxie. You know, it takes a lot of courage. You know, you're never too late. You're never too old to add more education to your life. Goddamn, man, I tell you what, I'm impressed by you. For you to see that video and for you to come to that conclusion, I mean, that just seems really, really responsible. You know, give yourself a round of applause. Onehead Rex says, fuck PayPal. Phil Herslit says, Aaron hates PayPal. I love any platform that copious amounts of money are donated to Steel Toe to. For example, we're $95 away from tonight's goal. We got 30 minutes left for the rest of the week. If somebody came in right now on any platform and donated money, I would be super thrilled. PayPal, Venmo, Streamlabs, Rumble Rants, it doesn't matter. Here, go ahead. Test me. Go ahead. Everybody, throw in memberships. I'll say thanks. Go ahead, throw in PayPals or Venmos. I'll say thank you. Ask OG Anonymous Fake Dono. I thanked him right on the spot. You think a guy who begs to hit his goal every day is going to look a gift horse in the mouth? Are you out of your mind? I'm about to go put that skirt on and see if I can't make a few bucks. I abandoned shame years ago when our sponsors started dropping and we lost Twitch. Oh. What was it? RZTBP says, what, do you want them in a burqa? I mean, I think there's a lot of wiggle room between a burqa and my ass is going to bust out of the seams of this skirt. I think we've got a lot of room to play with there in between. Smiles a lot for you says, sorry, payday's tomorrow. Well, you don't need to fucking go that far to support this show. I was talking to everybody who says that I hate PayPal. I don't. I love, like I said, anybody who throws in money at the toe, especially in the next half hour, oh, eternally grateful. Eternally. This next story kind of hits close to home because a lot of you are going to laugh at this and you're going to make fun of this like it's no big deal. But I actually knew someone who had this, that was not OBS crashing, by the way. I actually knew someone who had this disease. Someone who was very, very close to me had this ailment. So while you listen to me tell you this story about this kid, you're going to laugh, you're going to have a great time, whatever. And I'm not trying to say you can't. But just try to remember, as you're enjoying this story, that I knew someone very close to me who suffered this same illness. A young man in Portugal had a problem one day when his family noticed that he had an odd odor to him. After the boy would eat different types of fish, the child would develop an odor of rotting fish emanating from his body. The smell was noxious and powerful, especially around his head and hands. He was 10 months old the first time this happened. You feeding your 10-month-old fish? Okay. His mother temporarily put him on a fish-free diet, but after she reintroduced fish to his meals 2 months later, the odor returned. So the kid would eat fish. I guess in Portugal, it's coastal country. Probably a big part of their diet. Doctors examined the young boy and guessed that he had trimethylum. Oh, fuck. Dr. House would be able to get this. Trimethylaminuria, known as fish odor syndrome. Why don't you start with that before you make me look like a fucking dick, huh? How about we start with fish odor syndrome next time? In which breath, saliva, sweat, and urine smells like decaying fish. See, this is where you guys think this is funny. Ha ha, the kid eats fish. He smells like rotting fish. I had someone very close to me who had this same disease. It plagued them until long after I didn't know them anymore. And they would just reek of fish constantly. They did everything they could to try and keep clean, but they had that fishy smell no matter what. It's the damnedest thing. Rotten fish gets its distinctive smell from a molecule called trimethylamine. And the human body produces trimethylamine from nitrogen-rich foods such as fish. An enzyme called flavin-containing monooxygenase 3, FMO3, again, start with that, breaks down trimethylamine in the body, changing it to the odorless compound trimethylamine. No thanks, I'm full. But if the enzyme isn't working as it should, trimethylamine accumulates in the body and can make a person produce a foul, rotten fish aroma. Yeah, so while you guys laugh, haha, about this kid in Portugal, and that's that disease, feed him crappie or whatever. A lot of people live with this every day, and it's a silent struggle they wage every single day. My Lost Interest says, I had a girlfriend in high school with this same problem. Right? You know what? Thank you. I'm glad that there are some people out there who can have empathy with a situation like this. I can't. I can't read that. Guys, you guys are assuming who it was. You understand I've known hundreds, if not thousands of people in my life. And 99.99% repeating of those people that I've ever known in my life, you've never met and you don't know about. So why does one person just come to your mind? You sons of bitch. You know what? I really thought that we could bond over this story, have a little fun. But you know what? You had to take it to street level, didn't you? You had to take it to street level. Gray Duckling says, did the kid ever try Summer's Eve? That's one option that you could go with. Miss Tay, I'm not going to read that one. I'm not going to read that one because that's, you know what that is? That's mean-spirited. By the way, what I'm doing right now is called making a joke and then addressing plausible deniability. It's really nice. Hey, you know what's not deniable? $95 away from tonight's goal, and we are $95 away from our final goal of the evening show week being hit, and the toe having another perfect week on the evenings. All we need is a few of you to come up with 5 or 10, and we'll have this thing all hammered out. We're addressing it like gentlemen. We'll get it taken care of. Let's go. Gifted memberships are gold currency right now on the toe. This one might make you a little mad. We've been goofing off a lot tonight. And this next one might make you a little upset. It's out of Michigan. It's a story about how a children's hospital in Michigan is committing fraud by diagnosing adolescents with disorders they don't have to get them approved for gender-affirming care. If this is for real, if this is an actual thing, there is no punishment too severe to the assholes that are doing this. Because first of all, I think a lot of these kids go into these children's hospital for gender-affirming care under some kind of duress or under some kind of coaxing from usually a single mother. So I don't like it to begin with. But to know that the hospital is then going in and then bullshitting a diagnosis to an unsuspecting kid who doesn't know any better and going, well, we need to do gender-affirming care for this. Oh, I bet you they get bonuses too. I bet you these doctors get extra money for gender reaffirming care. I bet you there's some kind of financial motive. And why should that be any different? It's no different than what they do with prescribing drugs to people. When there's a new drug on the market, the drug companies will take care of them, send them on trips to all kinds of expos and shit to learn more about these life-saving medications. So just keep writing out the prescriptions. I mean, when they're writing in their prescription pad with a pen that has the drug company's logo on it, you should be a little suspect. So why shouldn't we believe that a lot of these doctors are bullshitting these diagnoses because they're going to get extra money for gender-affirming care? I believe it. Let's go ahead and hear what this doctor in the state of Michigan has to say.
Thank you both for your testimony and being able to spend time with you. And I know you mentioned sharing medical records with the committee. We can do that. You shared them with me, and looking through them, the reasonings to be put on puberty blocking drugs and cross-sex hormones was a specific endocrine disorder and ICD code that the doctor put in, and I saw it was used about 111 times in the records of 600 pages. And this endocrine disorder related to puberty, Johnny, did he have this endocrine disorder? I'm reading, what this is specified for. It's for things like androgen insensitivity syndrome, carcinoid syndrome, ectopic hormone secretion. Did he have any of those ailments?
No.
No,
I did not. And if I may comment on that real fast.
Oh no, they have one of these kids? Like, look at how it fucks them up. So you basically medically put these kids in limbo during puberty, and now they're too far gone to be what they were born biologically, but they haven't gone far enough to become the other thing. So these evil, rotten sons of bitches, these doctors will diagnose them with something that they do not have, put them on all these drugs, convince them they need gender reaffirming care. And then, when they realize, oh my God, I've been fucked over, I've been brainwashed, you stop and the damage has already been done. This is evil, man. But you know, this is a politically protected thing now. You got people on the left who will fight to the death to protect their right to fuck with young people's genitals and change their biology. So there will be people to make excuses for this. Nobody, mark my words, nobody's going to jail.
I did not realize that I was diagnosed with an endocrine disorder related to puberty. He never discussed what he was putting in my records, so we were not informed as to those diagnoses until much later when we pursued my medical records after I quit hormones.
My understanding is that's very clear insurance fraud.
Yeah, no shit. You diagnose someone with something they don't have, and then you put them on a bunch of drugs, and then you bill the insurance company. You're fucking right. That's insurance fraud. How is it anything? I mean, it can't be anything but insurance fraud. That's the only thing that makes sense. Wow. And they're just doing that to people. And look, if we found it once here in Michigan, what are the chances that it's everywhere? Papa Shab says, holy shit, it's Fuentes. That's... MSO says, all of a sudden, Dr. Mengele doesn't seem that bad. I mean, these guys, show me the difference, you know? 09 Canyon says there are more and more detransitioners coming out publicly all the time, and it's dangerous for them to do it. Their own community turns against them. Yeah. My Lost Interest says he's now prettier than his mom. Oh, thank God for low bars, huh? Well, guys, we are still 95 away from tonight, and that number is not moving, and you guys have been very generous. We got about 15 minutes left. I'm gonna go ahead and say that I'm gonna prepare to take the L tonight. I get pleasantly surprised by this audience a lot, and this week has been great. And goddamn, if the last year hasn't been incredible. We got to lose sometime, and I know I've given this speech probably 10, 15 times over the last year because I'm ready, I'm bracing, I'm thinking this is going to be the one we don't hit, but I mean it tonight. I think this might be the one we don't hit. You guys are fantastic. You're incredible. If you feel like throwing in some memberships, if you feel like throwing in a few bucks, the links are right there in the chat. Go ahead and click them and throw in a couple of bucks. If not, it does look like we might take a bit of an L this evening. From time to time, everyone goes bust, as Joey Kanish once said. This is another one that might piss you off a little bit. So we've got the government shutdown, and with that government shutdown comes the limiting of SNAP benefits. There are some states that have been able to dip into emergency funds, but even then, it's putting a finger in the dike. Stop it. And it's barely putting a dent in the problem. So people are going to TikTok, people who are on Snap, and they're trying to give other Snap recipients advice on how they can get through this difficult time. Now, nobody wants to see the crime rate go up. Nobody wants to see violent crime. Nobody wants to see people smashing up grocery stores and stealing food because we gave them welfare and now they feel they're entitled. So some people are getting a little more creative and, dare I say, a little more passive-aggressive with how they're feeding themselves during this Snap outage. Let's go ahead and see what Precious here thinks. Nobody, of course, at the grocery store told her that maybe a close-up was a bad idea, but, she's doing her own thing. This is from Libs of TikTok. Let's see what this woman has to say about grocery store behavior during the government shutdown.
Okay, so I'm like 10 minutes, 30 minutes maybe from my house. And I'm going to show y'all, if y'all don't get your EBT, what to do. Y'all think because for some reason that they watching y'all, they not watching y'all. They don't care. White people is not paying attention to y'all.
Wait a minute. Hold on. White people, huddle up for a second. Did you stop watching them? What the? I thought it was your turn to be watching. You weren't watching them. All these black people now during the government shutdown think we're not watching them. Wait a minute. Maybe that just means we're doing a really good job of watching them. Hey, guys, I told you, use your peripheral vision.
I'm in the white neighborhood at their HEB, and I'm gonna walk out with my groceries. Easy peasy. Nobody's looking at me.
Man, it's crazy. I up at the HEB in the white neighborhood. They ain't got no metal detectors in here, nothing. None of the checkout girls be patting me down for a pistol. It's all right. I just fill up my grocery cart. I walk out to my car. I ain't pay for shit. Man, white grocery stores be heaven up in here. I feel like I was going to talk to Jesus.
Nobody's paying attention to me. I got my basket full of stuff, and I'm going to just walk out. I'm going to show y'all, but give me a minute. I got to get some trash bags.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would just like to say that, how do I say this? I gotta find a way to make this joke. In my current situation, I'm really threading a needle here. Let's just say, this woman is about to literally commit a crime live across the internet, and she's bragging about it. This fucking lady, learn from me. What I'm trying to say is she's literally going, y'all, listen, y'all, I'm about to steal from the HEB in the white neighborhood. Yeah, don't give them a location that they can pinpoint. Fucking Shia LaBeouf posed in, put a camera on a flag and they found out where it was. These people are autistic and they're crazy and they're driven. Yo, I'm about to steal from the HEB in the white neighborhood. Watch this, y'all. Yeah, this is like the people who like rob a gas station or a bank and then they put all the cash out on their bed and then they take a picture of it and post it on Facebook. Really good job, dude.
Okay, y'all, this is everything I got.
Guys, I don't want to hear any jokes about the bananas. Knock it off. Knock it off. Knock it off.
And this is an exhibit. And as y'all can see, is not any of my people. And
I know, that's why we go there. But like, you're bragging. You're like, look at the white people neighborhoods. You just walk out with all your groceries here. Right, because we trust each other, because we all go through the checkout and we pay for our fucking groceries. If you and your friends start coming in and going, they ain't going to do shit, I'm going to walk out, they're going to start putting security in the place and they're going to have to start checking our receipts like it's Costco or Sam's Club. God damn it. It's ruining everything. It's your big mouth.
White people, they're not paying attention. Camera, yeah, but oh well. I got my stuff. So is there...
This is why Republicans in Minnesota do not want the light rail to go from Minneapolis to the south suburbs. That's why. Loaded Wrench with $2 says, hope she didn't send this to Gino. Oh, no. Well, she did it worse. She actually did disseminate it. She put it on fucking TikTok.
Just go to the white neighborhood and get a basket full of groceries.
There you go. Just go to the white neighborhood and get a basket full of groceries. What's the worst that could happen? You ruin the grocery store in the white neighborhood. You know how that grocery store in your neighborhood closed down? That's because everybody was doing what you're fucking doing. God damn it. Learn from us. We have so much to teach you. Just see what we do and then just do what we do. You see how we fill up our cart and we go to that checkout counter and we let them scan all the items and then we give them that card and we tap the card on the screen and then it deducts money from our account. We get to take the food home guilt-free. You know what happens if we all start walking out the door? The grocery store loses money and it closes down. Oh, I'm sorry. You know it is racism.
Just like I did. Easy peasy. Hey, that's cute.
Oh.
And look. And look. Nobody's chasing me.
Because they're afraid you're going to shoot them.
See? Nobody's chasing me. I'm putting my stuff up like I paid for it.
It's enough to drive you insane. It's enough to drive you absolutely tits up fucking crazy. It really is. Thank you very much to Miss Tay for gifting 5 memberships. Look at that.
Wanna fuck? Let's fuck!
Thank you very much. Everybody loves the karmic drop. All right, that's going to soften the blow a little bit. $70 away from tonight's goal. We may not get a win this evening, but goddamn, you got to lose sometime, and $70 away, not the worst. Not going to kill the old toe. Main Vein with $1 says, Aaron, try an Erica rally to hit the goal. I know you don't want to admit it, but white power fuels this show. It's a fact, bud. Embrace your race. We are not fueled by white power, no matter what that last story says. My Lost Interest says that, oh yeah, here's another thing. Not only did she post herself committing the crime to TikTok, but she posted her license plate number. Bravo. Bravo. Killing it. Absolutely killing it. Whitesnake says, imagine what New York City is going to be like soon. Oh, no, it'll be totally fine because it'll be a government grocery store, and I guess all your food will be free. Oh, yeah, and diamonds are going to rain from the sky, and gold bars are going to be under your pillow every time you leave a tooth there. Oh, it's going to be amazing. You guys don't understand how great New York City is going to be. All right, I see all the green lanterns in the chat. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to run Erica, and I'm going to tell you something. If we hit that $70 goal, while we play Erica early and we rally and make that $70 and fucking Main Vein ends up being right, I'm going to be happy on one hand that we had a perfect week, but I'm going to be really fucking pissed that he was right. I don't consider my show fueled by white power. I just want to say that for the record, I don't find this show fueled by white power. So I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to say that Main Vein is wrong. I'm going to fire up Erica, and we're going to miss the goal tonight. All right? We got 6 minutes left, so we'll run through Erica twice. We're still going to come up short on tonight's goal. Fire up the lamp. Hit the lamp. There it is. Hit the music. We are now. Miss Fake Dono says, no way Aaron will read this. $65 away from tonight's goal. We're still safe. Main Vein said that we hit the goal because we're fueled by white power. And if I played Erica, we would hit tonight. I said that, hey, we're going to lose every once in a while. It happens. Not a big deal. We're at 75. We're cool. Now we're at 65. Main Vein with $20. Thank you, Main Vein. $50 away from tonight's goal or 10 gifted memberships on Rumble. Thank you so much. 50 away, 4 minutes left in tonight's show. Look, $50 is still a long way from home. I still feel good that I'm in a safe spot. Main Vein's going to be wrong because if we do hit the goal tonight, it just means that it was fueled by WPH and the lamp, and I don't want it to be that. So thank you, Main Vein. But I think a $50 loss, I think I can handle it to know that it was not fueled by this song. $10 from Von Kaiser. He says, you're not going to see this. $10 on PayPal. Thank you very much. $40 away from tonight's goal. Hey, $40 miss. Not bad. Not bad. And we're not going to win due to the WPH. All right, that's the first run. We've got 3 minutes left. So set the pins back up. Let's play Erica. You guys didn't even get halfway there, so I think we're going to be fine. $40 away. Papa Shop says, shuck and jive, you Kentucky Fried Negro Jew. Jesus Christ. I got to say, that's a little hard in the paint. 72 memberships away, $40 away. It's me versus Main Vein. If we miss the goal tonight, I did prove a point that this show is not fueled by WPH. If we hit the goal, I'm happy that we hit it, but we hit it for a really shameful reason. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. 2 minutes to go. Main vein so far, not correct. Not correct so far, old main vein. God damn it. Well, there's the goal. $50 from main vein. Now, wait a minute. He just dropped it himself. If he drops it himself, now he's at $130 for this week also, so that puts him in third place. Now, wait a minute. You can't just do it yourself so that you can prove yourself right. So now Kmart Ready is in fourth. TDR Shit Show is in central booking at 75. And Amateur Anth falling out of there at 70. Oh my God. Oh, hold on a minute. Wait, we got more. We got to kill the music. We got some celebrations to play. Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. First of all, Main Vein with the $50. Thank you very much.
Yeah, why would you call him gay?
Oh, my God.
Why would you?
Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh my God. Average Plumber with 20 gifted memberships on Rumble.
Whoa, buddy.
Give that man an Elon.
And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
That also puts us just a hundo away to start Monday's evening show. We're 52 memberships away from 400. Oh my God, Average Plumber. Jesus. So now, Main Vein is not only right because he made himself right, but now also, fucking Average Plumber is at 150 for this week. We're closing in on 400 memberships. And we're crushing it for Monday morning. So wait a minute. 150, that's going to put Average Plumber in second place at 150. Sanford Son in third at 140. Now, see, I think you guys got to do a bit someday here where I've now just become used to whatever number we're at the end of the show. It's kind of like Catholic Church where I molest you when it's all done. No, I'm sorry. It's kind of like the Catholic Church where I give you a sermon and a show, and then at the end we pass the little basket around. We always get what we need. I think it would be funny if you guys lulled me into a false sense of security, and then we do that 5-minute thing. I make a total horse's ass of myself, and it doesn't move. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So now TDR Shit Show falls out of the top 5 with his $75, and Kmart Ready goes to central booking with 110. Thank you guys very much. So we knocked it out for this evening.
But I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, boys and girls. You're the absolute best. Nobody better than Main Vein, Average Plumber, Anonymous, OG Fake Dono, Miss Tay, and Gray Duckling, and everybody who threw in tonight on a wall, the whole lot of them. Thank you guys so much. But it did prove your guys' point that it is the WPH that rallies to the goal. Main Vein with $1 says, I told you, Aaron, white power always wins. Read my super chats. Fuck YouTube. What did I miss? Oh, I missed the $50 one. He says, I win. Whites are superior forever. Jesus. Thank you guys for that incredible generosity tonight. That's incredible. Thank you so much. I will talk to you again tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., bright and early. You know, I was very tempted to put Average Plumbers 20 gifted memberships towards tomorrow morning and just make that really easy to have a perfect week. I couldn't do it. I had to be honest. Evening show gets what evening show puts in. Thank you guys very much. And I will talk to you bright and early at 6 a.m. Hit like and subscribe on your way out, please.